The Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace has long been known as one of the toughest racetracks in the world. It is fast, it is furious, and these guys here today in the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series have to do 3 hours of non-stop, heart-pounding racing. Overtaking can be difficult here. You're going to have to be careful at the start of the race, and that braking zone into the center S, well, it's literally a case of how late can you dare to be. But if you make it through lap number 1, set yourself down into a rhythm, maybe, just maybe, you might be able to start picking off places one at a time, because the draft here, oh, it's going to be fantastic. So welcome to Interlagos, welcome to the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series, and our coverage will start next here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this, the 3 hours of Interlagos in the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series. Qualifying is currently underway. They've got themselves 7 minutes left to finish the job. We've been sent here, got ourselves Paul Smith and Alan Neves on commentary. And, well, Paul, we've got a couple of drivers left remaining on track. We've got ourselves the number 166 Blackadder Motorsports car. Just doing his thing right now. That's not right at all. I'm talking about someone else completely different. I'm talking about the 267 machine. This is why I'm not allowed to commentate this thing. But it's the number 267 car, Blackadder, of Lewis Kagoli. He is just working himself into that very difficult infield section. But most guys have done their qualifying. Tell us the headlines.
So basically the headlines are that Core Sim Racing, the 111 car, is on pole position with maybe just one or two maybe possibly getting a chance, but they're ahead of Sim Racing for Holland. The championship leaders in the prototypes, Team Hoisingveld Engineering, they are in third place in the prototypes. In your GT3s, NAB Racing, the current GT3 leaders, they are on pole position with Euphoria Racing White, the team that won the last time out at Spa-Francorchamps. They are in second place with Core Sim Racing, the 211 car. They are in third place, of course. They are the third place in that championship. And in the GTC class, Spirit of Le Mans trying to carry on their run of fortune after winning last time out. They are on pole position with Baguette Racing in second place and Core Sim Racing GTC in third place. Those three are your top three in the championship in GTC. A quick point to note as well, in the prototype there's only 15 points between Team Hoisingveld Engineering and Core Sim Racing, and in the GT3 class it's even closer. There's 6 points between NAB Racing and Racing Lions, who are currently going to be starting 5th place on the grid for the GT3 class. So plenty of things to discuss in this 3 hours race, and it should be an exciting one here.
Oh, it will be indeed. And we just see there the Baguette Racing car, Evan Mallard, bringing that car on towards pit road. His qualifying is done. Let's go back then. Got a couple of people, as you say, still to finish their qualifying laps. Here is one of them. It's Steve Greenwood in the WR Racing machine. And well, Alvin, some of these people like going out late in these races in qualifying just because they know that how hard to push it. They've got themselves a couple of minutes, so they don't need to worry just yet, this WR Racing car, but they've got one more lap to go.
Yeah, well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for everybody watching us today. Yeah, some people just like to, during the beginning of the qualifying run, they just like to just go out first and get at least one, maybe two clean laps done so that at least they can have a good time. And sometimes they can talk a little bit about what changes to setup they can do and some other stuff that they can do. And then see if they can save it for just one final run here.
Well, we can see then the Blackadder car has now completed all of his qualifying laps. We've got ourselves the Blackadder Motorsports prototype car heading himself now down towards the start-finish line. I love this car. It's an absolute beast incarnate if there ever was one. Down towards the start-finish line. Currently P number 4, past the stripe, and it looks as though it is going to remain P number 4 then for that Blackadder Motorsports car. So we're going to show you all of your grid. Now all of the drivers have completed qualifying. There's no one really left to go. Let's give yourselves a look at qualifying for this then, the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series here on RaceSpot TV. And of course we start in your prototype division, and there is Core Sim Racing. Alongside them it's going to be Sim Racing for Holland. The gaps here pretty big from the P1 to P2, and then from P2 down to P3 there, Paul.
Yeah, quite big gaps there. Sim Racing for Holland about 0.4 of a second behind the pole sitters, with Team Hoysickbelt Engineering right with them there. Avid Chronic Racing, as you say, 0.2 off of Blackadder Motorsports in fifth place. So it is going to be interesting. Like I say, it's to say that there's only about 3 seconds covering the entire prototype field, so shouldn't see too much of a field spread through this race.
And there you can see 13 drivers in your C1 division. Let's head ourselves back then to NAB Racing, Fabian de Jong. They are on pole in class. Euphoria Racing white even in second. Core Sim Racing in third, and then Blackadder Motorsports in fourth in class. This class looks to be quite a bit tighter, Paul. It's going to be interesting to see. Especially I think the first top 5 drivers each have a shot in this one.
Oh, absolutely! It's always provides great racing in the GT3 in the Gathering of Tweakers. We see it each time we come to this series, and it's thrilling racing, always close. There's plenty of action. Those guys, I mean, you look at it. You've got Core Sim Racing. They've won 2 races in the championship in GT3. NAB Racing, they've won a race in this series, as well as Euphoria Racing White. So you've got all 3 race-winning teams from the GT3 class in the top 3 there. So that's going to be close. But you know, you've got some good teams there as well. Blackadder Motorsports, they're a good team there, as we say. Racing Lions, they're going well in the championship, and they'll be wanting to maybe move up in this race and get some good points.
And then you see Spirit of the Mars, Triple Free Machine, Yompo Nullius pole position in class, Get Racing second, Corson Racing in third, Orange Devils in fourth. At this track, Alvin, actually, this might well be the class to watch.
Yeah, this on this track, being the shortest one during in the whole season, you can expect traffic to be a big factor, and you will definitely have the GTCs having a hard time with traffic, and also something they have to consider from all the classes. They are the only class that pretty much they had to, in terms of how to drive the car, they have to do more things in order to drive the car. Like for example, when slowing down, you gotta brake and blip the throttle and all that. And with having these corners having been some of them kind of downhill, and they're not your typical corners. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage to keep the cars on the track during this 3-hour race as well.
So then the cars are now lined up behind the iRacing.com first safety car. It's only half of a lap here on pacing. They start pretty much on the entrance into Ferradura. But they've got themselves 3 hours of racing to go. It's high altitudes. It's high speed racing at Interlagos. Paul, take it away.
Thanks very much, Will. So we're all set for this race. All the drivers just getting prepared, lined up, making sure that they've got all the fuel on board that they'll need for the stints. Of course, strategy, very important in an endurance race like this. The prototypes they'll be maybe having to do 3 stops, but the GT3s and the GT6s, they'll only need to do 2 stops in this race. But as we say, it's a short lap, so there's going to be plenty of action, and there's going to be a lot of traffic involved with it being a short lap as well. So traffic management is going to be a key, crucial thing for all 3 classes. People forget that the cars at the back of the field, they still have to work their way around, cooperate with those faster cars. But the car's now ready to be led away by that iRacing safety car, and away they go now on this warm-up, well, I would say warm-up lap, but it's a warm-up half lap. And just quickly about this track, it's going to be very difficult to get past back markers, especially around this infield section. Well,
it is gonna be. This track is a race of 2 halves. I've always said at this point. So turn 1, actually no, from turn 13 down to turn 5 is one track, and that infield very, very different. Patience in that infield is going to be key, though.
Absolutely. So drivers all at the wheel of the car. They've got to be quick, but they've also got to be safe, because, as we say, it's a 3-hour race here. Don't forget, tomorrow there is the Neo Endurance race here, also at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. It's 6 hours from the Neo Endurance Series. This one, it's 3 hours, but it's still going to be fantastic racing. We're just coming now into Junção, the left-hander, and then you've got this long drag uphill. It's full throttle all the way up the hill here when they're at racing speed. So going to be interesting to see how they go into turn 1, whether Core Sim Racing will be able to hold on to that lead on that inside line. It is a tough braking zone into that turn 1, but now the drivers just waiting patiently for the iRacing.com safety car to pull into the pits, and we are getting ready for 3 hours of racing. And well, it's coming on to the pit straight now. It's a difficult pit entry here to spot people if they happen to be slowing down on the racing line, but the pace car comes in now, and we are green. We are go for 3 hours of Interlagos. The prototypes are going away, and it's Core Sim Racing that have got the jump here. They've managed to pull out on Sim Racing for Holland. It's a tight first corner here through the Senna S, but everyone seeming to be able to go through there. The GT3s, they're coming into the Senna S now, and it's NAB Racing that have taken the lead there from that part of the field. Everyone seeming to get through there okay, and the GTC class, well, they're coming through the Senna S now. Everybody seems to be going through without incident, and it's Spirit of Le Mans that are at the front of that GTC class. But up front, Core Sim Racing, they're already trying to pull away there at the front. You've got Team Huizenveld Engineering in second place, but the Sim Racing for Holland team, they are battling already to try and get past to make up for the loss of places there. You've got NKH trying to get past the Avid Chronic Racing team, but not able to make that move stick. But so far, pretty clean racing.
Yeah, definitely so far very clean racing. A very impressive start by Core Sim Racing. They're starting in pole position and definitely pulling a nice 1 to 2 second gap so far. And the other classes, everything clean so far. So let's hope for the next 3 hours to be as clean as it has been so far.
So already we're ending lap 1. It's only taken 1 minute 33 from that start, but it's Core Sim Racing, the 111 car. They are in the lead. Team Huizenveld Engineering, they're in second place, with Sim Racing for Holland in third. In the GT3s, you have got NAB Racing in the lead of that category, with Core Sim Racing in second place and Euphoria Racing White in third. We have got a driver off already, so already drama happening at the start of this race. Liam Quinn in the 117 car, they are off. They're back running, up and running now, but fallen down the order there, down to the back of the prototypes, and down to 22nd overall. Yeah,
it looks like it looks like going into turn 1. Just looks like a self spin on their own. Yeah, definitely under braking, and they just lost it. just one of the things that Will was saying, trying to take it easy going into turn one, because it's you have to brake really hard, but also going downhill, and well, they just one of the first victims of this 3-hour race, unfortunately.
Well, they are still running there as Liam Quinn, but he was lucky not to be taken out by his teammate, the 4X Racing Fatties in the 116 car, so that was pretty close, but still, at the front, oh, we've got battling behind, this is for 4th and 5th place, NKH going around the outside, now down the inside through Cover de Sol on the Avid Chronic racing car, and they've run wide, so this is going to let others come in now. So Ben Gregory under attack here from the 155 Victor Draveguard. He's going down the inside in the Blue Flag racing car. Can he make that move stick? He's going to still be on the inside, but has to just back out of that, and that's allowing the Legends racing car to get onto the back of them. And there's contact behind there. That was FRT Hawkers, the 142 car, getting a little bit of contact on the exit there of turn 4, but able to keep going, but very close there, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. As I was praising all the drivers for having a relatively clean start during the first lap, looks like they're starting to battle really hard right in midfield in the prototype class. So remember, it's 3 hours, so you gotta remember to take it easy and pick their battles. We had some contact here and there, and yeah, I can see the FRT Hawkers car, the number 142. They got some slight damage on the right rear, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem in terms of aero, so they should be able to continue without it affecting it too much.
Well, if you look at this, the battle for 5th place, you've got Ben Gregory, Victor Draveguard, Adam Parl, and Francisco Gonzalez, and Adam Kell, and Christian Buck. They're all together. They're battling for 5th place at the moment as the FRT Hawkers car runs a little bit wide on the exit there of Cosworth de Sol. Just looking at the GT3 class, you've got a battle going on here for 3rd place. Euphoria Racing White, they're currently in 3rd place, but you look behind them, you've got Blackadder Motorsports and Racing Lions. They're battling for that position at the moment, and you've got the 4X racing car trying to make their way through this lot, but of course they're not lapping, and that is actually for position at the moment, Alvin.
Yeah, even though it is for position, we also have to remember that they are racing in different classes. So there's even though it may show on the leaderboards that they are behind them in terms of position, they are racing in for different classes. So it's they just have to take it easy, just pick whenever they are going to do the overtake, and just pick their own battles. I'm pretty sure that they will make it around them in a clean way, and they should be able to continue with their own race and hopefully make up the positions that they lost because as a result of the spin that they had.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're just seeing the Racing Lions deciding to let them pass, and that's probably the best thing for them, rather than to fight for them. Just let that prototype go away, and then they can carry on with this battle for 3rd place in the GT3 class as Blackadder Motorsports gets really close up to the back there into the Senna S, and now through Cover de Sol. It's not quite full throttle around here until you get towards the exit of that corner. It's so easy to unsettle this car around that particular corner, and now down to turn 4 there. And they're just having a look again at Blackadder Motorsports, but not able to make any moves stick at the moment. And actually, they've lost a little bit of ground here because Racing Lions are all over the back of them now.
Yeah, definitely. That curva also on a GT3, it can be. There is a possibility that it can be taken full throttle, but the timing of it's gotta be really precise, and also you gotta know how to use the curves, as the inside curves on that corner, if you don't know how to use it, it can throw your whole car off and you will go in for a ride. But yeah, so far this has been a good battle between Euphoria Racing White, Blackadder Motorsports, and the Racing Lions. So we will have to see how this will battle develops during the whole race.
We've got side by side here. It is the prototypes, and we've got side by side. It's FRT Hawkers and also Adam Kell in the Apex Racing team. They were going side by side through the first corner, and also Hawk. They are coming through as well. Hawk Sim Racing down the inside into that corner, so able to make it to FRT. FRT having a little bit of contact there, so they're struggling away. They've got a little bit of damage from that little bit of contact earlier on in this race. We've barely been 10 minutes and already FRT Hawkers a little bit in the wars.
Yeah, it looks like that contact was from the early scrap that they were having on the first couple laps, but like I said before, it shouldn't be anything that should affect them in a negative way. Maybe a little bit of couple of clicks in terms of top speed, but nothing serious. So yeah, something that they can fix during the first stop perhaps, and see if they can recover any lost ground after that.
Don't forget, you can keep up to date with everything in this race as we go along. There is live timing available, and it's at racespot.tv/timing. Check it out there if we wanted to keep an eye on maybe something else, somebody you wanted to watch or keep an eye on. That's where you want to go for live timing. That is up and running at the moment. We have got a battle here, Legends Racing with Adam Powell. He is putting Benjamin Gregory under all sorts of pressure at the moment, with Richard Draveguard in the Blue Flag Racing prototype right on the tail of them as well. There's you could almost throw a blanket over them. There's 0.6 of a second between these three at the moment, and that's his battle for P5 overall. Racing Lions, we've got P4 action. Racing Lions having a look around the outside there and making that move stick on the Blackadder Motorsports car, and that is 4th position up to 4th place, as we say. So Racing Lions do a fantastic work there around the outside into turn 1. That's not the easiest move to make, but we've seen cars do that in the past in the Formula 1. Juan Pablo Montoya, I think, was one of those.
Yeah, definitely. You can stick a move there. Perhaps this is that turn 1 is the one of the typical overtaking spots in this track, as you have the huge, well, not really straightaway, because it's pretty much but yeah, it's a full throttle going uphill, slide left-handers here and there, but it's one of those that if you know how to set up a pass coming out of the last turn, junk out, you can get an overtaking going into turn 1, but as said before, you really gotta be really confident, as this is going downhill and some little off camber here and there and some bumps. But if you know how to do it, then you can definitely stick the pass. And Racing Lions just showed how to do a pass here.
I mentioned when we were starting the broadcast that it's a short lap and you will get into traffic quick, and that's exactly what Frederick Rasmussen is encountering at the moment in the Core Sim Racing 111 car. The race leader by 5 seconds, although he's losing time through this midfield section because of him being stuck behind traffic. So Team Hoyt-Belt Engineering, they're trying to make the most of this and trying to catch those cars. It's all about getting the cars at the right point of the track, and Core Sim Racing just getting caught up in that infield section. But yeah, we've had about 11 minutes, 12 coming up to 12 minutes of the race gone. So your top 3 at the moment: Core Sim Racing, as I say, the 111 car in the lead of this race. Team Hoyt-Belt Engineering in 2nd place. Sim Racing for Holland, they're in 3rd place in the prototypes. In the GT3 class, you've got NAB Racing. They are in the lead of their category with Core Sim Racing, the 211 car. They are in 2nd place. And Euphoria Racing White are in 4th place because they have been overtaken by the Racing Lions. So Racing Lions certainly on the move at the moment. They're up to 3rd place there. And in the GTC class, you've got Spirit of Le Mans. They're carrying on their form from the last race. They're in the lead of this race for GTCs, with Baguette Racing right on the tail in 2nd place. Orange Devils 6 seconds behind in 3rd place. And we have got a warning for the 142 car, the FRT Hawkers, for aggressive driving. So yeah, down at turn 4. So the the stewards keeping an eye on proceedings once again, and just showing that drivers, they can't get away with anything in this series because they will get spotted.
Yeah, this is one of the things that separates this series from other series. The fact that we have live race control, and this is something really nice to have. Hopefully, it's something ideally that all series should be striving to have a live race control. That way, you can get on top of things during the race and not wait for after the race to try to solve things, as usually it's kind of hard to rectify things after the race is done. So this is really something that adds a nice little touch to this series, and drivers gotta be aware that their actions on the race will be taken into account during the race and not after the race. So yeah, this is it's something really nice to have, as I said before, and yeah, it's something really cool, definitely, that we are seeing here.
We've seen the 155 car has made a move for position. They are now up to 8th place. So Victor Dravegaard up to 8th place in that Blue Flag Racing prototype car, having lost a couple of places earlier on. They've made that move stick, so able to go up a place there, and now right all over the back end of Christian Challoner at the moment in that Blackadder Motorsports car. So well, we've seen side-by-side action going along the pit straight. There was Legends Racing were side-by-side with Avid Chronic Racing. Avid Chronic Racing, they're doing a good job to keep that 5th place at the moment, because those cars behind, they just seem to not be able to make a move on them. But now, as we're coming out of Young Cow and up this high-speed section through towards the start and finish straight, it's a very steep hill there, and of course we are quite high up above sea level, so the engines will be not quite as powerful as they would be normally. And here we go again. So Legends Racing, they tried this the last lap, going to the outside into turn 1. And well, Avid Chronic Racing able to hold that racing line at the moment and to keep that place. Will they get the better exit out into Cover de Sol? The answer is yes. Legends Racing having to hold back the Blackadder Motorsports car.
Yeah, now that traffic is trying to, well, not trying. Now the traffic is playing a big factor in this race. Now we can see the prototypes now trying to pick their positions and trying to take any advantage possible while they can during traffic as well.
Christian Challoner looks to be a bit faster than Adam Powell through this infield section, so maybe they've gone for a little bit more of a grippy setup for around the infield section, and maybe sacrificing a little bit of, just a tiny bit of top end speed as well. Legends Racing looking to the inside of Avid Chronic Racing, maybe just letting Ben Gregory know that he is there. But Adam Powell, well, he's going to be... you don't want to get frustrated at the wheel of a prototype car in this race. As we say, it's a 3-hour race. We've only had a quarter of an hour just over gone in this race so far, as they come past more of the GTC field. And well, that GTC car having to go out onto the grass just to keep out of everybody's way. Legends Racing, though, they're trying to look now to the inside, but there is that Orange Devils car in the way there, so not able to make that move on this lap. As we're here, a little bit of contract. So yeah, Core Sim Racing just having a little bit of contact there, going into turn 1. And who was it that made contact with them there? We'll find out for you. It was one of the prototypes coming through, and it was the Hawk Sim Racing 124 car. Just made a little bit of side-by-side contact. Nothing top intentional, nothing too heavy, but certainly it will have upset the car a little bit in that. I can tell you that the Hawk Sim Racing car on the front right has got a little bit of damage. In fact, the whole right side has got damage, so they'll be maybe losing a little bit of top speed down that high speed back end of the section of the circuit, should I say. So GT3, you have got Racing Lions. They are in third place. Euphoria Racing White are right behind them, and Blackadder Motorsport behind them as well. This is a battle for GT3. And Alvin, these guys, they've not been able to separate themselves. There's still about 1.2 seconds between the three of them.
Yeah, since it's pretty much since the start of the race, these three have been pretty much next to each other, and we also have the battle for 6, 7, and 8, pretty much in the same position as Racing Lions before. That's been racing and Blackadder Motorsports that they have been battling. So let's see how they try to keep between each other during this race, and when they are going to pit, and see how the pit stops play in part of these battles, and see if they can get with some pit strategy, if they can get ahead.
We have had a change of position in the prototypes. Adam Parl in the Legends Racing car, he's lost a position to Christian Challoner in that Blackadder Motorsports car. So Legends Racing dropping down a position down at turn 4. So that battle is still ongoing. Blackadder Motorsports now trying to take the attack to that Avid Chronic Racing car, but we're still going to keep an eye on this GT3 battle, because, as we said at the start of the broadcast, these GT3s, they do produce some very good racing, some very close action, and these three are certainly not letting up at the moment. But Racing Lions, they had to come through. They started in 5th place in class, and they've had to come through the field a little bit, so doing well so far, but they are currently 6.9 seconds behind 2nd place in the GT3 class.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they also have a championship in mind, so that definitely by running 3rd place, they are definitely trying to get their championship hopes still alive. Not that they are far away. They were just 6 points behind 1st place when the race started, so any position that they can get now, it'll definitely help them at the end of the championship, taking into consideration that the champions of each class each will get an invite for next season's Neo Endurance Series. So not only they are racing for position here and points, they're also racing for that automatic invite for the Neo Endurance Series next season.
So Avid Chronic Racing, they are still having to defend from these cars. Blackadder Motorsports, there was a little bit of contact between them, and Blackadder Motorsports now under threat from Legends Racing, but they've managed to get ahead. Legends Racing with a little bit of damage on the front left. Also, there is a drive-through penalty for the 124 car. That's Hawk Sim Racing. They are at the back of this pack. They've got a drive-through for that contact with the 311 car, the Core Sim Racing GTC class car. So they are going to get a drive-through. But this battle for 5th place in the race, Avid Chronic Racing doing a good job so far, but here come Blackadder Motorsports. They're looking dangerous. They've got that slipstream and going down towards turn 1 now. They've got no traffic to worry about, so they're going to try and make that move stick. We've got the Hawk Sim Racing car going into the pits, but Avid Chronic Racing late on the brakes there into turn 1, unable to hold that place at the moment, but we have seen that Blackadder Motorsports car make the move down into turn 4, so will they be able to make that move into the slipstream once again? And defending early is Ben Gregory in that Avid Chronic Racing car into the braking zone for turn 4, turn left here. And well, at the moment, Avid Chronic Racing is still able to hold it, but just holding onto that position is squeezing that Blackadder Motorsports car. And well, they're going side by side up towards this turn 5. There's a double apex right-hander, and well, side by side, and still able to hold on to this place. This is absolutely fantastic defensive driving from Ben Gregory at the moment, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely very fun and really clean racing between each other. Yeah, they definitely they are showing respect towards each other. We saw a point that Ben Gregory kind of closed the door just a little bit after coming out of turn 4, but nothing. How's the word? Nothing bad regarding that move. It was just trying to defend the position, but definitely clean racing between both of them, and definitely showing respect over each other and giving as much room as possible. As we see that Black Adder Motorsports trying to do the run again, going into turn 1. Will it make it? No. So it definitely looks like it's gonna happen again during this lap. They are racing hard but clean. So this is definitely good to see that they can do this.
Ben Gregory going defensive very early there, going down the straight here into turn 4. He's going to try and once again just hold on to that position. He better not overshoot himself. He doesn't, and in fact the Black Adder Motorsports car was trying to go around the outside there, trying to hold the outside line to get the inside line into this corner coming up here, the right-hander, and he's going to go around the outside. Surely not. He's losing the back end a little bit there. And that's all this battle in here between these two is allowing the 3 behind to stay on them and to put them under pressure, as Legends Racing just trying to look left and right, trying to make the move on Black Adder, but not really able to make the move through the infield section here. But once again, it's all about setting up it through Young Cow, getting the good exit through there to carry the speed all the way up the hill of the start finish line into turn 1. But Ben Gregory is taking that defensive line every time and is making it very difficult for Christian Challoner. Will we see a good exit from Christian here? He's coming onto that high-speed section. They've got back markers ahead as well, one of the GT3 class cars. Will he come into the reckoning here as we come over the start finish straight now? And we've also got a battle here as well between Dennis Duna and Henry Gross for second place in the race here. Team Hoisingveld Engineering looking to make that move stick down the inside because they were in second place. Sim Racing for Holland making the move on them into turn 1, and that has meant that they're up to second place. Sim Racing for Holland started this race in third, had a bit of a poor start, but able to get it up to second place. Now Team Hoisingveld all over the back of them. NKH actually catching up as well, so they're coming into the battle as well. Nicholas Helm, and still in front of that Black Adder Motorsports car is Ben Gregory, although they're going side by side going into this infield section once again. And well, Ben Gregory holding that inside line and able to hold on to the position.
Yeah, so far it's been really good racing here in the prototype class all over the place. Now we have Ben Gregory because he has been battling with the Black Adder Motorsports entry. Now we got a 5-car train here from 5th to 9th position. So yeah, as the Black Adder Motorsports almost closest coming out of Junco. So now we will see that train of cars going right past him, so this should be a slight relief for Ben Gregory in the Avicronic Racing car. So let's see if now he's able to pull away from these 4 other prototypes and see if he can establish his own rhythm.
Legends Racing looking down the inside of Black Adder Motorsports into turn 1, but they don't have the inside for turn 2, and that's meant that they've run wide. A Blue Flag Racing prototype, the 155 car, they go through. Victor Dravegaard making that move there, so this battle just splitting up a little bit, as we say. Ben Gregory trying to make the most of this to pull away. You've also got Apex Racing Team. They're going down the inside now of Legends Racing. So Adam Kell doing the move there down the inside of Adam Powell, but well, going into the right-hander here. Adam Powell does have the inside, but decides against it and holds back a little bit. But Apex Racing run a little bit wide. Adam Kell just running wide, but back onto the racing line and holds onto that position. It's a good move there between the two Adams for that 8th and 9th place.
Yeah, it looks like that slight moment that the Black Adder is it the Black Adder Motorsports car that we were seeing before in Junk Cup? Yeah, it was the Black Adder Motorsports that moment, even though they lost some time because of that, but in terms of positions they only lost 1. So now let's see if they can recover from that small mistake if they can get those positions back.
Well, we've got a battle for P2 in this race. You've got Team Hoisingveld Engineering putting pressure on Sim Racing for Holland, but NKH, they are right behind them and on the tail of Team Hoisingveld Engineering. So Dennis Duna, Henry Gross and Nicholas Helm at the wheel of those 3 cars, and this is going to be an interesting one to say the least, as well, the Sim Racing for Holland car just makes a little bit of a gap between Henry Gross and Nicholas Helm. As Nicholas Helm looking to the inside, but not able to make that move at the moment. It is an overtaking spot, but it's very difficult to make the move stick there.
Yeah, definitely. Now we got this battle from second, third, and fourth place, as now they are approaching the battle that we have been following throughout the race for GT3 between Racing Lions, Euphoria Racing White, and Blackadder Motorsport. So now we start to see the dynamic in traffic when you are battling fourth position, but you also get some cars in front of you that are also battling for position, and it's interesting to see how all the classes start to interact with each other and showing the respect that each of them they serve as well, because we also got to remember they got their own race, and they also have the same right to the racetrack as the faster classes as well.
Oh, and we've got the three classes right there going side by side down that back straight now, and Team Hosted Engineering putting Sim Racing for Holland under all sorts of pressure into turn 4 there, and having to go a little bit tighter, and that allows the Sim Racing for Holland car to just pull away a little bit because they were compromised with their line were Henry Gross in that Team Hosted Engineering entry. And Ben Gregory is under attack again from Blackadder Motorsports, and this time they're more alongside. Well, they're going to have the outside line going up the hill into this right-hander, and, well, can they make that outside line stick? Because they're going to try it once again, and into this tight right-hander now. Ben Gregory, he's got the inside line, but can they keep out there? Blackadder Motorsports, oh, and they've lost control. Blackadder Motorsports, they've spun it. They're going to lose 3, maybe 4 places, and, well, they get back up and running. Nobody else collects them, so good driving there from Christian Challoner just to let other cars through. But yeah, certainly just lost control of it through that right-hander.
Unfortunate that, well, what happened to them. They after what happened to them previously, it looked like they were able to collect themselves, and they were able to catch up to 5th place. But unfortunately, it looks like too much pressure trying to overtake, and they spawned. But as you said, fortunately nobody else was collected in that incident, so it's good to see that everybody is able to continue.
And well, the outcome for that is that Ben Gregory has got the pressure taken off of him. He's got about a 1.5 second gap now, and a couple of GT3 cars between him and the Blue Flag Racing prototype in 6th place. Sorry, Victor Dravegard is 6th, but still, you've got the Apex Racing team and Legends Racing right behind Adam Kell and Adam Parl. They're still battling away. And GT3, we've also got the Racing Lions battle. That's still ongoing with them. And Euphoria Racing White and Blackadder Motorsports as well. So they're still, those 3 battling away. They're still about 2 seconds between them at the moment. So we're going to keep an eye on them. But also at the front of GT3, Claudio Klima in the Core Sim Racing GT3 car. He's been slowly gaining on the NAB Racing car of Fabian de Jong. So Core Sim Racing are going to be really pushing on now, and we're going to be looking on board with them. And as we go down into turn 1 here into the Senna S, and it's going to be difficult for them to actually make the move stick, because we've seen how these cars can run pretty close together, but not able to make that move stick in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Now there's pretty much battles everywhere on the field, so there's really no lack of action here that we can see. Now we have this battle for the lead on the GT3 class, so with the Core Sim Racing closing them, as we also have the 2nd and 3rd place on the prototypes closing into them. So now they gotta be careful going into the infield, as the Core Sim Racing gives them some room for the Sim Racing for Holland as well to go around the infield section. But yeah, so far this 25 minutes of racing so far has been really good, and definitely showing that there's plenty of action for Nobody is giving an inch. Nobody wants to give up. Everybody wants to give their best, and this is something that we always like to see. Teams giving 100%, no backing down, and never giving up. So kudos for all the teams for so far having a good race as of now.
So we have had half an hour of the race so far, and well, we'll just quickly go through your top three of each class. You've got Core Sim Racing, the 111 car. They are out in the lead of this race, and there's almost a 16-second lead over the second place Sim Racing for Holland, who we've seen having battles with Team Huizenveld Engineering, who are in third place in the prototypes. In the GT3s, NAB Racing, they're right behind the NKH car at the moment. They are in first place in GT3 with Core Sim Racing in second place in GT3 with Racing Lions in third place, and in your GTC class, Spirit of Le Mans, they are still in the lead of that category with Baguette Racing, still pretty close to them, 1.5 seconds behind at the moment. They are in second place with Orange Devils, they're a little bit further back in third place. And don't forget, live timing is available on racespot.tv/live timing if you want to /timing if you want to get I'm getting told off in my ears here. Get to keep an eye on who you want to keep an eye on in this race, because there is plenty of action all over in this race today. And well, the closest battle at the moment on track is it's Victor Dravegaard and Adam Kell. They are battling their way there for sixth place at the moment. Ben Gregory has made a break for it in that Avid Chronic Racing car, so it's the V Apex Racing team. I'm correcting myself there on that one as well. They are in sixth place with Adam Kell. They managed to get ahead of Blue Flag Racing with Victor Dravegaard at the wheel of that car, but there's only 0.3 of a second between them at the moment as they go across the line once again.
Yeah, definitely good racing all across the field, as now they start an hour lap, and now they also have to contend with some GTT traffic. Nothing serious, but it should be something that they should be able to negotiate without having much trouble. But yeah, this is definitely has been good racing going all over the place. But as pretty much on all classes we've been having good battles. Pretty much what we have been expecting in this race. So let's try to let's see if these teams can keep it up.
So as you'll see, it's Adam Kell currently in that position at the moment, in that sixth place. But Victor Dravegaard, he wants to get that place back. He has had it before in this race. There's been real sort of mix and match between these prototype cars as they're getting stuck behind that real Euphoria Racing white car going through now towards Yuncao. They'll be able to make that move down the inside, and crucially for them, Blue Flag Prototype, they had to get the cut back there on that GT3 car, but a very good exit there from Victor Dravegaard out of Yuncao, and he's going to carry that speed all the way up the hill here. And well, is he going to make a move into turn one? He's just not quite close enough, I don't think. Maybe he's going to have a look maybe to the outside. Here he goes, Victor Dravegaard down to the outside, but still, well, they're going side by side, but not making that move so far. But wow, better exit for V Apex Racing and Kell and to Cover del Sol, and that means that he gets to keep that place for the time being. But Victor Dravegaard is not going to give this one up yet. He's going to look down the back section here, but not quite close enough to make that move stick.
Yeah, this is just some clean racing here and there. The Blue Flag Racing just trying to pick their place for the overtake, trying to time it, especially if they can use the GTC or GTT traffic to their advantage to try to set up an overtake. They will try to do it, but so far the Apex Racing car has been able to fend off all the attacks from Blue Flag Racing, and so yeah, so far so good for them.
Well, further down the field in the GTC class, we've got a battle for 6th and 7th place. It's Talk Creek Racing at the lead of that one at the moment, with SRN Motorsports in that 7th place. They're battling away for that position, and there's only half a second between these two. And well, these guys, they're going to be the ones that are going to be affected maybe the most by the traffic, because well, maybe not, because the GT3 class, they have to worry about getting past them, but letting the prototypes through, these guys, they've got to just let everybody through, basically, who's faster than them, but while still battling away. It takes it's a really difficult skill to be able to do that well, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. This is something that really depends on which class you are. Usually, when you are the slowest class, theoretically speaking, it's kind of the easiest, because you don't have to worry about being faster than somebody else, except if you're faster than somebody else in your class, then yeah, that should be your only worry. But pretty much, you know that if a car is not in your class, they are pretty much faster, and so you pretty much try to set up the car so that you can facilitate the overtake and make it as easy as possible. Whereas the GT3s, they gotta worry about overtaking cars and also being overtaken. So it's kind of like a different dynamic. And then you have the prototypes, where pretty much they can overtake anything that's in front of them.
And Alvin, something else that the drivers have got to worry about is the strategy, and we're getting closer to the prototypes coming in for their first pit stop, aren't we? So are you thinking maybe a 3-stop strategy, or will drivers be able to stretch out and maybe do a 2-stop?
I see most of the GT3s and GTCs going for 2 stops. The Daytona prototypes, it could be kind of close, like pretty much most of the races, but I don't see them trying to stretch it too much going into the hour. We may see some teams here and they're trying to do it, especially those that are in at the back of the prototype class, to see if they can gain some time with not doing one extra pit stop. So let's see what happens.
Well, we will certainly see what happens. So what we're going to do is just quickly go side by side for a quick commercial break before we have those all-important pit stops to see how those strategies play out. So you're watching the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series, the 3 hours of Interlagos, here on iRacing Live with RaceSpot TV. Don't go anywhere, you'll be seeing all the action side by side.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, Will Vincent here from Racebot TV. Do apologise, we have just lost all of our sound, so we're going to step aside for just 2 minutes. We will be back, we promise. We do apologise. Please bear with us for just a couple of moments. Back to the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series. This is your on-screen appearance from the one and only Mr. Will Vincent. Gonna hand it back to Alvin and Paul. Thank you so much for bearing with us over the last, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, but it's back to the action. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Will. Yeah, so we're just having to start to see the prototypes coming into the pits. The first one is Blue Flag Racing Prototype, the 155 car. They are into the pits, so they're making their first pit stop. So just nicely timed there for the problems to be fixed. And we're back up and running there with Yuka Zavati at the wheel of that Blue Flag Racing car. And Alvin, the strategy, as we always say in endurance racing, it's really important, and maybe Blue Flag Racing, they were stuck behind Avid Chronic Racing for a while, so maybe just trying to get a little bit of clean air, fresh tyres, and hopefully trying to get their place on the Avid Chronic Racing in the pit stops.
Absolutely. Perhaps they kind of realized within their strategy that they had to make 3 stops anyway, so might as well get one of those stops now while they can, and try to get some clean air in front of them, and see if by having that clean air they can pretty much get their pace up and try to get some positions during the pit stop. So now that we're seeing the pit stops going on, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays into, and see where teams end up after this first round of pit stops.
And well, we've got Blackadder Motorsport. They're onto pit road now. The 166 car away they go. Christian Challoner is staying at the wheel of that car for the time being, so he's doing another stint. Brand new tyres and fuel on board, and they will come out. Will they come out ahead of that Blue Flag Racing car? Yes, they will, by quite a margin. I can tell you that NKH Racing have made a move on Team Housebot Engineering while we were just having those few issues. They are up to 3rd place. So Core Sim Racing, they're in the lead of this race still, with Sim Racing for Holland in 2nd, NKH in 3rd place. They stay out for another lap. And well, in GT3 we've got NAB Racing and Core Sim Racing. This is a close battle, half a second between these two. This is for the lead of GT3, and NAB, well, they've had the lead all the way through this race so far, but coming under intense pressure from Core Sim Racing. Just like you know, Racing Lions are still in 3rd place in that GT3 class. Spirit of Le Mans, they are still in the lead of GTC, with Baguette Racing in 2nd and the Orange Devils in 3rd. But we're going to keep an eye on this this lead battle for GT3 between NAB and Core. We're also going to kind of keep an eye on the pit road as well for any of the prototypes that are coming in. And Alvin, it's certainly getting interesting between these two, between NAB and Core Sim Racing.
Definitely, this is a battle that has been heating up during the last couple of minutes, with Core Sim Racing now pretty much all over the rear bumper of the NAB Racing. I am pretty sure that one team that are cheering on for the Core Sim Racing to go into the lead, the Racing Lions GT3 car, as the NAB Racing and Racing Lions, they are 1st and 2nd in the championship, and with so many points being in play here, any position that the Racing Lions can gain from NAB Racing will really help them going into the last 2 rounds of this championship.
Absolutely. NAB Racing, just out of interest in GT3, 123 points. Racing Lions 117. Core Sim Racing, they're on 100 points, so they're 23 points behind in 3rd place in the championship. So they are still in with a shout of getting this championship. One bad result for NAB, and that could certainly help the Core Sim Racing team out. But this battle still close going into Young Cow. And we have got a car in the pit road, and that's Absolute Beginners. ABL, they have got a bit of damage on the front of their car, and on the side of it. I don't know what's happened there in the race. We'll surely get a maybe just trying to find out what's happened for you there, but they are on pit road. They've got damage, so they are not going well. They are a lap down, and we have got a car even further behind. The last place car has a lap down on them, and that's the WR Racing 317 car, so they are currently the last of the runners. Everyone's still running at the moment in this race, so that's good to see that we've had no retirements so far, but a couple of incidents for a couple of cars, and well, at least everyone is still running in this race. But this battle for 1st place in GT3 still ongoing. NAB at the front of that. Core Sim Racing, they're just holding behind at the moment, 0.3 of a second, so it is quite a close battle, but certainly they're putting the pressure on, as I can tell you that Team Housebot Engineering are ahead of Sim Racing for Holland. Sim Racing for Holland have lost a couple of places. In fact, they lost more than a couple of places. They've had the pit stop, that's why. So they are down in 6th place at the moment, so those prototypes going through their pit schedule at the moment, but Sim Racing for Holland stuck behind a couple of the other prototypes, so not able to make the most of those new tyres, Alvin.
Yeah, now that with all the pit cycles going on now, it's kind of interesting to see when they start to pit, and when who decides to pit in, who decides to stay it out. Especially during this first stop, the earlier you get in, the less fuel you will need to go to a full tank. Of course, we don't know what is exactly the strategy for each team in terms of fuel strategy, but yeah, this is definitely one of those that once you get in, you try to do the best that you can getting in and getting out of the pits, and then it's up to the pit crews to get the pit stop to get it in as quick as possible.
A little bit of contact between those two, by the way, for them as well. And well, it's all getting a little bit close for Sim Racing for Holland.
Yeah, as I was saying, this is once you start getting into the pits, there are different strategies in terms of when you come in, when you come out. So now that I'm pretty sure that the pit cycle it's not done yet, but yeah, it looks so far that Sim Racing for Holland has been one of the big losers in during this round of pit stops as they try to set out the pass going into turn one, and yeah, it looks like they're gonna be able to make it stick. Yeah, but yeah, so far it looks like they have been one of the losers from this round of pit stop. So that now let's see if they can regroup and get a strong finish.
Henry Gross has had a pit stop as well for Team Horsingveld Engineering. They're 21.1 seconds, so a little bit of a longer pit stop for them, maybe just repairing a little bit of damage. But they are coming out in 8th place ahead of Christian Bug in that Hawk Sim Racing LMP car, so able to come out ahead of them at least to be able to get some free air. But certainly these pit stops are just going to be mixed up the positions at the moment. But Core Sim Racing in that battle for the lead in GT3, they're almost going side by side, 3 wide down into the turn 4. They've got a car behind them, one of the prototypes are around the outside. Surely they can't make that stick, they do. Core Sim Racing, fantastic manoeuvre there into the lead of the GT3 class. NAB had no answer to them.
Yeah, it looks like another good setup by them going into turn 1. It looks like they kind of lost a little bit of actually not turn 1. Sorry about that. But it looks like the NAB Racing got a little bit caught up in traffic coming out of the Senna S, and yeah. Core Sim Racing looks like the patience that they've been having, it's finally starting to pay off as now they are going into the lead. So, but we also got to remember that they are pretty much closing into the first round of pit stop. So now let's see what will happen after this first round of pit stop and see if they can maintain the lead as well.
And Gregory, the Avid Chronic Racing, they're on pit road at the moment, a 20.6 second pit stop for them. So they've fallen behind Christian Challoner in the Blackadder Motorsports car there. So these pit stop cycles now are just starting to sort themselves out. The prototypes, they're able to stretch out their pit stops as Core Sim Racing just running a little bit wide over the curbs there through Curva de Sol in the 211 car, but able to stay out in front. But that is certainly one of the best overtaking moves I've seen for quite a while around the outside into turn 4.
Yeah, definitely. Kudos for them for getting that move to stick, especially coming out of turn 4. If you get it really wrong coming out of it, coming out of turn 3, turn 4, that turn 3, turn 4 complex, you can really get a bad exit, and there's these curves with AstroTurf that really goes off camber, and anybody that has raced here and has touched those curves knows that if you catch it at a bad angle, you are really going for a ride and definitely can spell the end of the race. So definitely great job by the Core Sim Racing GT3 car and making that move, sticking that move as we have the Core Sim Racing prototype car coming into the pits as well.
Well, we've got 2 other prototypes as well on pit road. The 142 FRT Hawkers car, they're on pit road, and the V-Apex Racing team, they are just coming off of pit road at the moment. But as you say, the race leaders coming into their pit stall now, bring the car to a halt. Frederick Rasmussen, they're just going to take on fuel, take on tyres, and be able to pull away. They did have a bit of a gap there between them and second place. It was about half a minute almost going into the pit cycle, but they just sat there waiting for the fuel to go in, and away they go now out of the pit road. 23.5 second pit stop, so taking on a little bit more fuel there than some of the others. And Frederick Rasmussen stays at the wheel of that Core Sim Racing 111 car. But at the moment, it's NKH who haven't had their pit stop yet. They are in the lead of this race, and they're just trying to make the most of that lighter fuel load with the car. We've had the 4X Racing, they're just coming out the pits as well, the 117 car with Johan van den Belt at the wheel of that one. So they've made their pit stop as well with a driver change. So these prototypes going through their pit cycle at the moment, and we should be pretty close soon to the GT3s and the GTCs making their pit stops as well, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. We're pretty much closing to the hour, so now we should have the GT3s and GTCs coming into the pits. But on a separate note, regarding pit strategy, it looks like Core Sim Racing, the prototype, was the last car to come in, and they were like almost somewhere around 2 minutes short of the hour. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pull a two-stop strategy. So we should keep an eye on them.
Yeah, Fabian de Jong has just overshot his pit box there, so he just had to reverse it in the pit lane. That will have cost him time. And in that battle for the lead of GT3, that's rather crucial as the other NKH come in as well onto pit road. So everybody is making their pit stops as Euphoria Racing White as well, Blackadder Motorsports. Well, it's a pit party in the GT3s. They're on pit road at the moment, and High Octane Motorsports, they're on pit road as well. You've got GTC car coming in, that's Spirit of Le Mans. So Jan-Paul Nilhaus at the wheel of that car, he is on pit road as well. And these GT3 cars and the GTC cars, they take a little bit longer to fuel up, so they're going to be sat there for the best part of a minute just getting that fuel on board. But the prototypes, they've all made their pit stops, so we can give you an update of the standings. It's still Core Sim Racing in the lead of this race in the prototypes, with Dennis Dunar in second place in the Sim Racing for Holland car. Third place, it's Henry Gross in the Team Huizinga Engineering car, but he is, just having a look at that, a 191 car, NKH, they're in fourth place, and Christian Challoner is in fifth place in the Blackadder Motorsports car. So Christian Challoner able to make the jump on Ben Gregory in that Avid Chronic Racing car. In your GT3s at the moment, Core Sim Racing, they are on pit road now, so they're making their first pit stop. And in second place, Racing Lions, they're coming into pits now as well. NA, let's have a look, 274, so that's Mad Cape Racing. They are staying out, are they? Are they going to come into the pits? They're staying out, so they're going a little bit longer at Mad Cape with their teammates right behind. And, we've got the GTC class as well. They're coming into the pits as well. Baguette Racing, Evan Maliard into the pit lane here. So it's all happening. It's as we predicted, around the hour mark, the GT3s and the GTCs coming into the pits, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. This was definitely expected from the GT3s and GTCs. Pretty much they can go 1 full hour, maybe a little bit more. It really kind of depends on each driver. But something that you pointed out, the last prototype car to come into the pits was the NKH Racing, and they were able to stretch their fuel to a little bit more than an hour. So now it'll be interesting with the advantage that the Core Sim Racing car has over them, which is around 32 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if the NKH Racing can do two stops. And as I also pointed out earlier, Core Sim Racing were like 1-2 minutes short of the hour too. So it'll be interesting to see this battle in terms of pit strategy going into the end of the race, and see if NKH Racing can pull a win by doing a two-stop strategy.
Well, I can tell you that Fabian Young has lost about 3 or 4 seconds with him overshooting in his pit box compared to Claudio Klima in the Core Sim Racing GT3 car. So that gap is now 8.4 seconds. So that is just pulled out a little bit there, but we've still got Mad Cape Racing. They are still out there on track at the moment, so those GT3 cars going a little bit longer, just in traffic there with the GT3s. And we've got Adam Powell. He's closing in on the V-Apex Racing team of Gary Hickman, who's at the wheel of that car now. So they've changed drivers, have V-Apex Racing. and well, they are battling over 7th and 8th place overall. Just looking further down, we have got the battles still going on. Baguette Racing are still in 2nd place in GTC because they've come out behind the Spirit of Le Mans, so Baguette Racing's not able to make that jump in the pit stops. 2.2 seconds between them, and well, we've pretty much got everybody who's pitted almost. Just a couple, 3 cars in the GT3 class yet to make a pit stop at the moment.
Yeah, we've had pretty much most of the cars now in the pit, so now we can see how the different pit strategies have been playing a part into this race as well. And what's interesting, as the race started, we had in the GTC we had the Spirit of Le Mans in front, and they are still in front, but the advantage. Yeah, the advantage, it seems like it's been pretty much just the same. So we could have a repeat of the previous run in Spa, where the Spirit of Le Mans and Baguette Racing were racing pretty much for the whole time. But of course, we hope that unlike the race at Spa, this one doesn't end in tears.
I was just about to say, yeah, let's hope that they don't end up coming to blows, but certainly they are still racing hard. There's only 2 seconds between them at the moment, so it's really close battle between those two that we'll keep an eye on in the GTC class. But it's interesting that in GTC you've got about 1.8, 1.9 seconds between the leaders and that, and in GT3 the 2 leaders at the moment who have yet to pit, they've got about 1.5 seconds between them as well, so pretty close battles for the lead at the moment. Although, like I say, those in GT3, those 2 at the front, the Mad Cape Racing team, they're going a little bit longer in this first stint, and maybe going for a shorter final stint, or maybe a shorter middle stint, just to get a little bit of pace in that middle stint of the race.
Yeah, it also could be a case that they have been able to catch traffic at the right time, so they haven't really had to necessarily try to get into the pits to avoid any lap traffic. And so yeah, it's for them it looks like they have been able to stretch their fuel strategy as long as possible, and see if they can benefit from doing a very short pit, where it's gonna be in the middle stint or at or the last stint. So yeah, it's always interesting to see how the different pit strategies come into play, and it's also good to see teams trying to play different pit strategies to see if they can gain the upper hand on the pits as well.
We have got the 269 Blackadder Motorsports GT3 car on pit road at the moment. Brian De Bruin at the wheel of that one, and they are just coming down off the jacks at the moment and coming out to pit road with a 64-second pit stop for that 269 car. So they're going to come back up to speed, but we've still got these leading 2 in the GT3 class still staying out there at the moment on that first set of tyres, and Interlagos is known for having a little bit of tyre wear issue. You've got to look after the tyres, especially around that high-speed section going on to the start and finish straight, because you're putting a real load through those tyres on those left-handers.
Yeah, absolutely. This track, especially those the left-handers that this track have, they're pretty much all high-speed. So it's definitely something to really take into consideration. But it looks like they are not having any trouble in racing and trying to race within their strategy, and also doing some competitive time. So yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how they try to keep this pace and perhaps later contend for a podium position or even perhaps a win. Who knows?
Matt McKay and Ben Kuipers both into the pits, so this is the final 2 pit stops of this first stint in the GT3s, and they've done very well to make it last almost an hour and 10 minutes on that fuel load. So well done to those two guys, maybe challenging for positions later on in the race. So, of course, iRacing in the 211 car, they're going to come through to take the lead in the GT3 class with Claudio Klima at the wheel of that car at the moment. NAB Racing, Fabien de Jong still at the wheel of that car. They are in second place in GT3, and in third place you've got Euphoria Racing White, Juan Segara at the wheel of that car. They are in third place in GTC. At the front of your race though, it is still, of course, iRacing, the 111 car. They are leading by 14 seconds ahead of SimRacing for Holland, who are in second place. In third place it's Team Huizenveld Engineering, who can't seem to shake off that NKH car. They're only 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds between them. So NKH doing a good job there to keep the pressure on Henry Gross with Nicholas Helm wheel of the NKH car. And in your GTC class, I've just noticed this, the two leaders are neck and neck going into turn 4. You've got Spirit Le Mans and Baguette Racing. This is the battle for the lead in GTC. Baguette Racing having to get out of it a little bit because of back markers coming through, and that's going to let Baguette Racing to take that place down the inside there. Nice move, clean, and through into the lead because Baguette Racing was Yassine Beber at the wheel of that car. Fantastic work using the GT3 car there, and great use of the traffic, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely, and perhaps it also could be the case of trying to of recalling what happened in the last round and decided, you know what, we still have a little less than 2 hours to go, so might as well give some space. And yeah, but definitely, there's a great pass and great respect towards each other. Let's see if the Spirit of Le Mans can regroup now and catch up to the Baguette Racing and see if they can retake the lead at which they have been pretty much throughout the whole race.
Of course, last time out at Spa we did see that little bit of contact into Eau Rouge, which caused some bit of tempers, but they did give the place back, credit to them, but they did end up with that stop and go penalty as well, did Baguette Racing. But nice and clean move. They usually are clean, these guys, so bit of an anomaly between those two that time, last time out. But Baguette Racing now trying to stretch their legs and trying to pull out the lead there, already 0.9 of a second ahead. And as we said earlier, using that we've got Mad Cape Racing having to come into the pits for a stop and go hold for obviously some form of penalty for them. So Mad Cape Racing, the 272 Matt McKay, they are in the pits, and possibly speeding in the pit lane, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But it's a long hold there for them. Maybe had some issues at the pit stop. We'll have to wait and see about that one. But certainly a disaster for the 272 car, because they really wanted to. They really were putting in a good showing, and away they go. 41 seconds in the pits. So that seems a bit long for a penalty, Alvin.
Yeah, it could have been the possibility that they forgot to set the fuel, which, yeah, it's definitely a shame if that was the case, as they showed that they can run they can run a longer stint, and I was trying to praise them for that. But yeah, it's unfortunate that those kind of things happen, but best thing you can do is just regroup and try to get a strong finish.
Well, I can tell you somebody who's trying to get a strong finish is Marco Luca Abate. He is in the Blackadder 267 car, and he is in 5th place at the moment in GT3. He is battling with the Racing Lions, but there's about a second between them at the moment. But Racing Lions, they're only a second behind Euphoria Racing White. So this battle between those three still ongoing. And it's going to go on all race long, I think, Alvin, although I may have just given it the kiss of death.
Well, let's hope that you haven't given it the kiss of death, because sorry, this has been a absolutely great battle that these three have been having since the start of the race. And as I'm talking, they are going side by side into a start finish straightaway, with Racing Lions having a good having a good look at these two battling for position as the Euphoria Racing goes into it, and also the Racing Lions looks like he saw a space and he also went for it now. So yeah, this has been definitely a good battle that all three have been having so far. So let's hope that they can keep it this clean until the end of the race.
Well, of course, they were lapping the 269 Blackadder Motorsports car, so that car could have helped the teammate out a little bit there, but decided to just play it clean, play it safe, and not get in their way too much. Didn't make it easy for them, but certainly didn't block them. But Racing Lions all over the back of that Euphoria Racing white car at the moment as we go into this infield section. And just how difficult is this infield section to get right, Alvin?
Well, this track is it's a really interesting one, as you have a really high speed part that you try to have as slow down for as possible, but then you get to this infield section, which one of the interesting parts of this infield section is that when you go through most of these slow turns, not only you are turning left and right, but you're also going kind of up and down, and it's really something that drivers have to take into consideration, trying to not unsettle the balance of the car as they go through these turns. So yeah, this track is kind of like a tale of two different styles of racing. One really fast, and then the other one a really technical one, or a really short one, but one that can really make or break your race.
As we saw Racing Lions go into that turn one and take the place from Euphoria Racing White, so certainly Frank van Brandwick at the wheel of that car, making the move stick down into turn one. And I believe we are going to be joined by a certain Mr. Will Vincent that you did see a little bit earlier on with his fantastic look there with the headset and the Union flags in the background there, Will.
Yeah, hi. Basically, I use it as a room divider and a sound insulator. I am actually one day going to spray it black and then put Racebot R's all over it, but I just never had time.
So what have you been thinking of this race so far? What have you made of it so far for this race?
GTC surprised me in the fact that there just hasn't been any racing going on at all, except for what we saw about 5 minutes ago with the Get Racing. Literally, it's been a case of, I'm looking through right now, the gaps. You've got 35 seconds, 17 seconds, 20 seconds, 12 seconds, 36, 37, 25, 55. It's huge. Absolutely huge right now. GT3, however, has just been fantastic today. There's an ongoing battle with Racing Lions, and you've got yourselves the Euphoria Racing White team. Then, of course, you've got yourself in the background of that a couple of other drivers. I've just got to say, by the way, that we've had ourselves an off, and that is the number 220 car, the high octane motorsports car that's just had itself an off. And that actually is going to be our first. That's going to be our first actual retirement of the day, because we've seen people go off, but we've not actually seen anyone crash so far today.
Well, the strange thing is, they just seemed to go straight on and then park the car by the wall. That was a really unusual one, was that? Unless they maybe were having a bit of an issue with the connection. Yeah,
it's as if literally something had happened to that car, because it was on the exit of Yun Sao that it was.
And the entry of Yun Sao.
Yeah. So interesting on that one. I call it LMP, prototype. It's also been pretty good here today. The battle we had earlier on, we had like 4 or 5 guys there in the mix, fantastic. Now we've got ourselves this really good battle that's still going on between the team Painting Delta Racing and also NKH Racing. And this one, I think, is going to be one that we'll see going into hour 3. We're touching close to halfway very soon. And even though the gaps have started to eke out, I think this battle for P3, P4 is one that will go down to the wire. I don't really see much happening in the top 3 anymore. I think that, top 2. That one's, in my opinion, is now settled. We're looking to see who's going to get the last step in the podium.
But we did notice with this NKH car, they were able to make it just over the hour for the pit stop. So it could be interesting to see how they go with the fuel strategy. Maybe if they can go one stop less, they maybe won't get the lead, but they'll certainly be a lot closer to it.
Yeah, and what they need to do is they need to try and get ahead of that 178 car and then preserve fuel afterwards. I think if they try and go too hard right now, then they're just basically going to throw their strategy down the toilet, even though, of course, that whole counting back, you've got yourself the opportunity in the last stint to probably take a second, 2 seconds less on fuel. The pit stop times, I think, are interesting for your top 4, top 5 as well. 23 seconds for the treble 1 machine. Of course, we think that they're going to win the race as it stands. 18.8 seconds for that Sim Racers for Holland, number 151 car. Then 21.1 for the 178 machine. 24.6 for Nicholas Helm in that very pink NKH racing car. And then Christian Kliman in the Blackadder Motorsports car, 18.2. So some people are literally, Paul, going 45, 45, 45, whatever. Then there's others that's is doing this whole strategy of fill it up, run the tank dry, fill it up, run the tank dry, and then see what you need to do at the end. 2 very different strategies. That's going to make it very interesting when we get to the end of this motor race.
Absolutely. I mean, from personal experience of endurance racing, okay, it's not at this level, but I have done a couple of endurance races, and you've always taken the approach of fill it up and then just see what you need at the end. Maybe not the most efficient way of doing it. You maybe be quicker overall in the race with a lighter fuel load, but that's mainly because none of the people I have in my team are really good at maths, so we just basically do that ourselves, just sort of go, yeah, back of an envelope calculation, we need that much, and it usually works. We usually overfill, probably.
It's also worth thinking, though, that these tyres, I mean, we're just showing the weather on the screen now, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's hot, but not unbearably hot in Interlagos today. But these tyres...
Oh, NKH, looking down the inside. Sorry to cut you off there, Will.
They've got it.
Making that move, a fantastic move. That's not really a traditional overtaking spot, but they made that move stick. And, well, Team Hoyt Engineering having to get out of it and give them a place there.
That is possibly going to be one of the passes of the season. And we're just going to get ourselves a second look at this. But this is down on the run in towards Yonsal as I tell you, I'm not quite sure what really happened here. Is it literally, to pick at a pattern, that was just a perfect, finding a line, braking late, and this is one of the things about Interlagos, is that you can brake very late into a corner and still find a way of gathering an apex for an exit, because of the fact that these corners have got such wide radii. So that one, it was a case of brake a bit later. It was a slow speed corner. It's off camber on corner exit anyway, but very, very well executed by that number 191 car. And there's that podium we were talking about. They're now in that podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicholas Helm doing a fantastic job there, and he's he's still got Henry Gross behind him at the moment, so it's not going to be easy job to get rid of him. But this is where Nicholas Helm wants to be. He wants to be in front of that car to be able to run their own race and not ruin the tyres from running behind the Team Hoyt Engineering car.
Indeed so. To finish off this kind of point, though, about the prototype cars, the tyres, they go away probably more on this car than we'd see them in the GT3 and the GTC car. The track, it's getting rubbed in. It's getting more and more slippy. Track position is going to be important. And, of course, we saw this at the end of the first stop, you know, how annoyed the team was behind Aviconic Racing when they came out on fresh tyres behind a car that was completing the end of its stint. This next pit stop is, you remember like McLaren used to have this big circle where it would show all the drivers exactly where they are on track? Some people are wishing that they had that right now, because when you come out on track after your pit stop, on this stop, it'll be critical in the prototype division.
Absolutely, we're just seeing the P3 battle still going on. I thought Henry Gross got a good run out of Young Cow and up the hill, but unable to get close enough to be able to make a move at the moment. So Nicholas Helm holding on to that third place in your prototypes. Just to quickly go through your field, you have still got that 111 car, Cole Sim Racing, at the front with Frederick Rasmussen once again at the wheel of that car. Sim Racing for Holland second with Dennis Dooner in your prototypes with, as we said, that battle going on, NKH and the Team Hoisted Belt Engineering 3rd and 4th. In your GT3's Core Sim Racing, they have pulled out, they've got about an 8-second gap now over NAB Racing. That's your first and second places, with Racing Lines in 3rd place. Now pulled out a little bit of a gap in that battle between them, Euphoria Racing White and Blackadder Motorsports in the 267. So yeah, Racing Lines just able to just eke out a little bit of a gap just to calm a little bit of pressure on them and to be able to run their own race. But GoT Racing, they are in the lead of the GTC class, with Spirit of Le Mans just falling back. They're about 7 seconds now behind GoT Racing, so well, it's a bit disappointing really, because we thought that would have been a close one, but maybe with strategy and maybe with different drivers we could see that close back up, and the Orange Devils are in 3rd place in that GTC battle. I just thought I'd go through there, give everyone a bit of airtime there, Will. You'll let everyone know what's going on, and of course there is live timing available, isn't there, Will?
There is. Head over to racebot.tv/timing, live timing and scoring available for this and all of our upcoming races. And shameless plug, there is a lot of racing coming your way soon. Don't forget, of course, we've got ourselves a Neo Endurance Series tomorrow, Sunday Night Skippies tomorrow, Monday Night Skippies on Monday, and then on Tuesday we start off, we take over coverage of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing. They head to the World Center of Racing, Daytona. And in fact, if you want to put up another screen, not literally go to a shop and buy another screen right now, but if you've got a second screen available, why don't you head over to iRacing Live and check out Racebot TV's coverage of the Daytona 500, which is going on right now.
Oh, that's still going on. It's a long race, isn't it, the Daytona 500, yeah. So 500 miles, that's the 500. That's about as far as my knowledge of the 500 goes, I'm afraid. Oh, and 31-degree banking, because you taught me that, Will.
Yes, so many times we talked about the 31 degrees of banking as it's time. I tell you what, I think they've actually just finished the Daytona 500.
Really?
Yeah, is that can't be right, because they've only been, it's a 4-hour race, but it looks as though they might have actually finished it.
Well, there you go, keeping you up to date with all our broadcasts there, Mr. Will Vincent, of course, but of course also with us in the commentary booth, Alvin Nieves with us. And Alvin, anything that's sort of what's been your thoughts of this first half of the race?
Well, so far it's been really good racing. Like Will said, it's been pretty much good racing throughout the whole field. GTC has been relatively quiet so far, except for the battle for the lead. But yeah, it's been a really quiet race for the GTC class. But throughout the rest of the field, there's been really good racing. So this definitely should set us for a nice second half of this race.
By the way, NKH have lost a position to Team Hoisted Engineering, so Henry Gross able to get ahead of them. I'm just trying to find out what's happened there, but NKH were ahead. They were actually cleanly overtaken going into turn 4 by Henry Gross. So Henry Gross able to get ahead of them, and they pulled out a bit of a gap, 3.5 seconds, more than that now.
The reason why they're on pit road, that's why.
They're on pit road, yeah. So Nicholas Helm.
They were the first ones, the last ones in.
Yeah,
the last pit stop, like.
No, they were the last ones in. When NKH, they were the last ones to pit. So this is a very and he's missed a pit stall as well. So this is interesting. This is Kyle Berner getting into the car. So maybe some issues there for them there in the NKH car. Nicholas Helm has done 58 laps. There is a lap limit on the amount of laps a driver can do in this race, which I'm sure I'll be able to find for you in a moment when I've gone through all the information here. We have had, I tell you what, Race Control have had a very quiet time of things, because they've only had 3 things to look at, and of that, only one of which has got a penalty in this race. So everyone behaving so far. Cal Burney at the wheel now of that NKH car, down to 10th place for them.
Yeah, Wouldn't surprise me that something happened in real life that has had the NKH Racing coming here, coming for what seems to be an early scheduled pit stop. Yeah, on schedule. So yeah, now it looks like they're gonna be doing the three stops as pretty much every other team. So now let's see what happens to them throughout the rest of this race.
Oh, well, I mean, it's interesting to see how the strategy goes out for them, but Kyle Birdie at the wheel now, be interested to see what his lap times are like at the wheel, because of course he's not used to the track conditions as they are now, because the last time he drove the car was probably in practice, I think, from the looks of things. Yeah, it was in practice, was the last time that he drove the car, so he won't be used to the track this rubbered up, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes.
Yeah, definitely. Different track conditions from the beginning of the race to not to this race. But as you said, the last time he was in practice, so he should have some really good practice with the track rubbered in. So it shouldn't be that much of a problem for him trying to get into the race car. But it's one thing to get into a car when you're in practice conditions, and it's a whole nother different mindset when you gotta get into the car when you're in race conditions, as there is really no warm up or not anything. You pretty much get into the car and you just gotta get into the rhythm as fast as possible. So yeah, it's now let's see how fast he can get into a rhythm and see how now he can how he does throughout the rest of this race.
Well, Marco Luca Abate was closing up to the back of the Euphoria Racing white car of Juan Segara, but a bit of lapping traffic coming through has just split those two up. I thought they were going to have a bit of a tussle between those two, because they have been battling all the way through. Racing Lions have just been slowly pulling away a little bit more from those two. So Frank van Brandvik able to just pull away a little bit from them, back 4 seconds from that battle for Euphoria Racing White and Blackadder Motorsports. So certainly one to keep an eye on there. In fact, I'd say that's about the closest battle we've got on the track at the moment. And well, we're going to be coming up to the second round of pit stops shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to just step aside for one moment, just to grab our breath, get ready for the pit stops, and be able to show you them here live on iRacing Live with the help of RaceSpot TV. Of course, my name is Paul Smith with Alvin Nieves, and special comments and the camera work from Mr. Will Vincent here live tonight. And well, you won't miss anything. Of course, live timing is available, racespot.tv/live timing. But we're going to step aside for a moment, so we'll be right back after these commercials.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the 3 hours of Interlagos in the Gathering of Tweakers, here live on iRacing Live with RaceSpot TV. I'm Paul Smith, alongside me Alvin Nieves, with Will Vincent on the cameras for us today. And well, we've started the pit stops for the prototypes with a few of the cars coming in. Sim Racing for Holland have just been in. Rudy de Witt is now at the wheel of that car. We've also had the Blackadder Motorsport 166 car that's coming for their pit stop, and that's Tommy Vandergucht at the wheel of that car. Now, Avid Chronic Racing, they're just onto pit road now as well. So Ben Gregory getting out of that, and Juno Vandenbroek at the wheel of that one at the moment. So we've got a real... it's the start of the second stint, and we are certainly going to see 3 stops from the leading drivers in the prototypes. But we found a bit of interesting information regarding the NKH car there, Alvin.
Yeah, it looks like the reason they had to stop to do an unscheduled pit stop was because the previous driver was having problems with their pedals in real life, so they had to make a pit stop and change driver. So yeah, really unfortunate that it happened to them.
Well, I know we say this every time we cover this series, but in real life racing, you have technical problems. You're going to get technical problems in sim racing as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can practice as much as you want and all that, but sometimes there are things that happen in real life that you cannot control. Like for example, we all know that how windows can sometimes throw a monkey wrench at you while you're racing, and sometimes windows can go crazy and all that stuff. And also something that we also need to consider, and sometimes it has happened, being this multi-class racing with multiple drivers as well. Sometimes some of the drivers don't get into the server only when once they are almost ready to get into the car. That's when they get into the server, and it has also happened that iRacing sometimes the website kind of gets down and people are not able to get into the race. So yeah, that is something that we all need to take into consideration as well when we are when we are doing this. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that it happens, but it's one of those that we really don't have any control over them. So I'll say they are more frustrating when that happens because of that, because we don't really have any control over them.
Absolutely, and of course people's internet can be intermittent or cut out, so that can affect things as well.
Can I have a translation? Do you remember that time when Michael Schumacher was getting that award from Pele at this very track, and Kimi Räikkönen missed it because he was unfortunately otherwise consumed elsewhere? It's a bit like that in some ways, in the fact that he could well have been there, but sometimes other things take over.
Absolutely, exactly. Yeah. So certainly things do happen, and to everybody. So yeah, so that's interesting there for them. And so we're just going to go through your leading cars while we've got them there. GoT Sim Racing, they're in the lead of this race at the moment, 57 seconds ahead of Team Huizenveld Engineering, with Henry Gross at the wheel of that one. Sim Racing for Holland, they're currently third, but they have had their second pit stop by the looks of things, so they're certainly going to be running with that at the moment. In GT3, we've got GoT Sim Racing, the 211 car. They're in the lead of GT3. They're just coming up to lap their fellow team from the GTC class, so going through past them. Second place, NAB Racing. They're now 11 seconds behind, so just falling back a little bit there for them. Racing Lions in third place in GT3. And at the front of GTC, you've got Baguette Racing. They're at the front there in the lead of that one. Spirit of Le Mans now 13 seconds behind in that second place, and in third place Orange Devils with them there as well. And we've got a lesser spotted Cam Walsh has appeared in the commentary box. Hello there, Cam.
Hello. How's everything going?
Going well. And were you covering the Daytona?
Yes, we were. Yeah, Daytona. It was a shocking finish. A person driving a car won. Nobody saw it coming.
That's incredible. I would have thought the guy running down... Oh my goodness, we just had a car go flying off. Just bear with me a second. It was the High Octane Motorsport 220 car. They just went flying off at Cover del Sol.
They've seen that when had issues before, let's not forget.
Yeah, absolutely. So
they had that issue at Yun Sao, well, entering Yun Sao.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the car just suddenly just speared off to the right, though. It looked like the front right tyre just seemed to lock up. going into that
Oh,
corner.
the back end. No, the
on
back end was sliding off. We just saw it on the replay. The back end was sliding all the way for the curve of the soul. And by the time it actually tried to counter-steer, it just counter-steered too much. Yeah, this is our hard part of the track to get a good camera angle on. But we'll try and find one in towards the curve of the soul. But here we are then. So you see that car just flips itself through the corner. And now, the back end sliding. And now, we'll just slow it down, and you can see the smoke, and as he tries to counter-steer, one little tug of the wheel, and then that car is just going to spear itself to the right-hand side as a consequence. That's why you always do little movement in race cars. You never do big jerks.
Well, no comment there. Well, but certainly that was a big moment.
What
for
are you
them,
talking about?
And it's caused some significant damage. I'm just going to ignore that and carry on. So, just fantastic work from them to be able to get the car up and running again. But I would have thought they'd be coming onto pit road to maybe get the damage fixed on that car. No, they're going to carry on. So, able to carry on with that car at a relatively good speed.
Oh yeah, definitely does. That's one of those things that happen. Fortunately, they're just they were just able to just keep racing. Yeah, they will be down a little bit on top speed and all that, but yeah, nonetheless, it's they got an hour 15 minutes to around an hour 15 minutes to go. So yeah, they should be able to still get a good finish from this.
Well, so Cam, what you've missed is not a lot of action going on in the GTC class, although the Baguette Racing and Spirit of Le Mans did have a little bit of a battle for a little while, but that soon got resolved nice and cleanly. We have had a bit of battling going on with the GT3 classes, especially between the Racing Lines Euphoria Racing White and Blackadder Motorsports, although the Euphoria Racing Lines have pulled away a little bit in that battle, but Euphoria Racing White and Blackadder Motorsports still together. We've also had a few battles for the lead, and we were thinking we were going to have maybe a two-stop strategy from the NKH team, but unfortunately some pedal problems for the driver meant that they were only running at about 80% throttle, so they've had to come in, change driver just to be able to carry on. So we had quite a bit of action going on here, Cam.
I see this also as somebody who is a rather newcomer to the Gathering of Tweakers booth. I have to say, Baguette Racing and Spirit of Le Mans, there's a joke in there somewhere, and I have to say it's a very original racing name. I kind of wish I was that clever.
If Bertrand Baguette owned a race car team, it would be called Baguette Racing. Not that.
I'm just saying, baguettes. I don't. Okay. But yes, looking through this whole field, though, I have to say it's still very much quite organized. There's only 2 cars that didn't start, the Hawk cars, and everyone else is still plugging along. It's really neat.
Yeah, we've certainly been keeping everyone driving, even if there has been a few damaged cars, but everybody seeming to keep out of trouble. The race control, I think, are going to be falling asleep because they haven't had anything to do for the last sort of 25-30 minutes. So,
there
and
you
even
go.
then before then, they haven't had much to do as well. So, credit to all the drivers out there for keeping it clean.
Now you've done it.
Well, I can tell you personally, being in race control in the Neo Endurance Race, if there is something that we do enjoy is these times of peace and quiet, seeing everybody on racetrack behaving, and at that point you know that drivers are really just settling down. Everything is calm and smooth. Of course, we would like to see more. We would like to see more the cars racing more for position, but this is one of the things of endurance racing. There are some points in the race that everything is relatively calm and everything goes smooth, and you can always just sit down and just do jokes and other stuff. So yeah, this is something that I'm pretty sure race control out there, they're really enjoying.
Well, I can tell you we have got a little bit of a close battle between the 272 car of Mark Mackay in the Mad Cape Racing entry, the 272, and Blackadder Motorsports, Brian De Bruin in the 269 car. There's only 0.7 of a second between those two. That's a pretty close battle. We're also got a battle as well with the 191 car at NKH and Blackadder Motorsport. So those two are pretty close together at the moment. In fact, there's less than half a second between these two going through the infield section as we head down towards Young Cow. And well, we could see if the Blackadder Motorsports car gets a good exit through Young Cow. They're on a contact with the back of the NKH car. Blackadder Motorsports spinning round, and Tommy Vandergook's just maybe trying a little bit too hard to get a good exit out of Young Cow there.
Yeah, it kind of looks like looks like they were trying to set up for the exit of Junko, but they kind of saw an opening before that, but unfortunately they were not able to make the move stick as they spun. So now let's see how they recover from this spin and see how they can do.
Well, of course, that spin has let Christian Bug go past them as well. So the Hawk Sim Racing car, the 124 car that we saw the only driver to get any form of penalty so far in this race, he has moved up a position, so he's up to 8th place at the moment. So good racing from them there. But that Blackadder Motorsports car getting loose coming out of turn 4 there. And Cam, how easy is it to basically lose your concentration and end up having one mistake leading to another mistake?
Well, it's not just a general concentration problem. It's Interlagos. This track gives you no relief or no respite. The only time you have to even really consider what had just happened is up a straight, which is not straight at all. You're going high speed, and then multi-class. The brakes that you get are just really none at all whatsoever. I have to say probably the easiest portion is getting off of turn number. That'd be probably turn number 5, that very hard left-hander, and then going in the uphill. That's really the only time where you get to expect what's going to happen. And boy, it's just Interlagos is a track that I've always performed well at and I've always enjoyed. But I don't think I've ever seen a multi-class event here, though.
Me personally, I do think it's one of my favourite tracks to race at. It's got a fantastic flow to it. It's got the undulation, it's got the challenge of some high-speed corners, and having the challenge, especially around Young Cow there, to get the exit right, to be able to carry all that speed through there, full flat out on the throttle, and getting your braking right in some of these corners is a real challenge, and certainly one that I enjoy.
Yes, it's an exciting track. Just all throughout, it's an exciting track. I'm a big fan of it. And it's just one of those things where, this C7R, I haven't actually really seen run in anger until just earlier in the month, or really last month's Daytona 24. And boy, the C7R puts on a great performance. The BMW, of course, will always put on a good race, and the Roof Cup car will always be an exciting one at that. So just yet another 3 great classes, and here at a great track.
And we've got Team Hoiseville Engineering just coming out of pit road now. They've changed driver Christian Kewitt now at the wheel of that car with a 30.9 second pit stop, so good work from them to get that driver change done so quickly. But we're now starting to see this the second round of pit stops for the prototypes, and some of these prototype drivers will be trying to maybe just squeeze out another 8 minutes or 9 minutes or so of fuel just to be able to make it just this one more stop. But some of them will have to make another splash and dash as we go along, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say most of the prototype teams are really going into a 3-stop strategy. There's really not much they can do. Yeah, there was one team that could have been able to do the.
Sorry, Alvin. Blackadder Motorsports in the GT3's the 267 car, going side by side down into turn 1 and making that move around the outside, going a little bit wide, losing the back end there, and Euphoria Racing White able to hold on to that place in the end there. But Blackadder Motorsport, Marco Luccarabate, trying the outside line through there and taking a very wide exit through Curva de Sol. But certainly he's looking busy. He's looking like he wants to make that move stick just to get that place and be able to pull away.
Oh yeah, definitely, and also good job by Marco Luca for saving the car and not spinning it. So definitely trying to do the overtake, and also had that big moment trying to save the car. So yeah, good job by him by keeping the car on the racetrack and in one piece as well. So now let's see if he can get back on the bumper of the number 222 of Euphoria Racing White and see if they can set up and overtake again.
Absolutely, they certainly have been at the close. I mean, this battle has been going on throughout the race here, and these two teams are so evenly matched. But these two making these moves is just letting Racing Lions just pull away that little bit more in that battle for. They were in the battle for third place in GT3, but they certainly have just with these two battling. Let them pull away a little bit there, but Marco Luca Abate not going to make the move this time by, he's too far back, but he is certainly looking the faster of the cars, Cam.
Yes, it's just one of those things of Interlagos. I think that's another trick of this place, is it's not just necessarily what kind of cars at the track itself. This is really one of those tracks where it just seems to click a lot more with some drivers rather than others. And you seem to be able to find your comfort zone here. You either find it or you don't get along with the track at all. And I think they're coming to click into it. And I'm just looking at that Euphoria car, the Blackadder car, once again, still going at it at 222 in the 267 car. It's one of those things where you got to find where you are more comfortable than your opponent is and find out how you can exploit that. But it's just very difficult trip to get around, I'd say, after this 2.68 mile circuit.
Absolutely, and it's one of the classic circuits of World Motorsport. Certainly, it's one of the few that is anti-clockwise as well. So that brings its whole new challenges in itself, having the front right tyre taking a lot of the bearing a lot of the brunt of the work around this track.
Would you like a random fact?
Left-hand corners. Go on, let's have a random fact, Will.
David Coulthard, for this event, used to basically lay in his bed and put weights attached to his helmet just so he could get used to the G-forces. Because, of course, the track being anti-clockwise compared to most tracks being clockwise, as we've got another close look there. 2 tenths per second, 267 on treble 2, not going to happen. But he used to deliberately put weight on his helmet and lay at the end of his bed, so basically his head was dangling off, just so he can get acclimatized to the level of G-forces that would be pulled whilst going anti-clockwise in a very high G track.
I have even another bonus sign to that. They also had to do that. Does anyone remember? Well, I probably don't want to remember, but they used to run in the parking lot of Caesar's Palace in Formula 1. Thank you. And that also was counterclockwise, and they had much the same issues.
Yes, and didn't the winner of one of those races literally pass out almost?
Wasn't that Nelson Piquet?
No. I think what you're. I know exactly what you're thinking of. No. It's the footage of what you would think is a man falling out of a Lotus, correct?
No.
That's Phoenix. That is Nigel Mansell at Phoenix. Yeah, that's a different race.
No, Nelson Piquet. Oh, so we've got a change of position here. The 166 car of Tommy Vandergucht in the Blackadder Motorsports car has made the move on the 124 Christian Bughawk Sim Racing. That was a move down through Curva de Sol, getting stuck behind that traffic, and once again, that traffic just meaning that one car takes advantage of the other one, and that's lost Christian Bugger position, possibly going to lose another place because he's running wide left, right and centre around these corners.
No, they can't be, because he's only been on those tyres for, 20 minutes?
Well, no, they're coming towards the end of their stint here. So maybe the tyres are going because they're under intense pressure now. The car behind is the Avid Chronic Racing car. They have had their second pit stop, so they're on fresher tyres, so they'll be putting all sorts of pressure on that Hawk Sim Racing car. As Juha Pekalami, by the way, has come into the car for the race-leading Core Sim Racing car, so they're doing a driver change at the moment. Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying. The leader is into the pits, and this battle's still going on though. Avid Chronic Racing looking around the back, but not close enough to make a move stick at the moment. But just going back to that whole issue of time, I'm sure it was Nelson Piquet ended up with heat exhaustion after one of those races around the car park there.
Yeah. It's either Pico or Patrese. I don't remember which one it was.
Well, nobody wants to remember those races, I think, except for me. I'm the only one that loved Phoenix. I don't know why. I loved it. I love watching. Maybe it was just because of the time and the drivers that they had. I believe it was it? It wasn't John Alesi versus Ayrton Senna.
Yeah, no, that was 1990. Was that?
It was 90. Yeah, that I loved that. The track was quick. It was great. It was hot, but they said something along the lines of there was like an ostrich festival that had more people show up than the Formula One race, which I guess isn't a proper thing. So that's why they canned it, which is unfortunate. But
Avid Chronic Racing, sorry to butt in there, just making a move down the inside around that right-hander, and they've made the move stick as they're heading towards Cow. So that's a change of position. So Avid Chronic Racing moving up to 7th place overall. Sorry about that, Cam.
No, please interrupt me when there's things going on the racetrack. That's important, you know. It's yes, that C7R is right up on it. A little bit of damage on that right side, probably from some curbing there. But actually, the Hawk Sim Racing LMP car will go straight into pit lane. So, really, kind of a swan song, regardless.
Well, we are hitting the hour mark here, and Alvin, I just want to bring you onto this one because, as I say, we're hitting the hour mark. Can these drivers who are pitting now in the prototypes, can they keep it to the end on this one fuel stop now?
There is a possibility that they may be able to keep it to this be the last stop. It may be kind of close, but it really kind of depends on who's driving, as pretty much most of the teams now they are done with their driver changes as well. So it'll be interesting to see now who's driving, and also how their driving style kind of plays a factor in terms of their fuel consumption. So there is a possibility, like I said, there's a possibility that some teams may be able to stretch it to the end of the race. But I see most of the teams having to do a final splash and dash.
Well, since we are on the hour mark, I can tell you that we'll go through the field. So as we are at the moment, it's Core Sim Racing, the 111 car in the lead. Juha Pakalame at the wheel of that car. 31.5 seconds ahead of our second place car, Sim Racing for Holland. With Rudy de Witt at the wheel of that car, with Team Hoiseval Engineering, they're in third place. They've got a 10-second lead now over Adam Parl. Those top three have made their second pit stops. Adam Parl in the Legends Racing car yet to make his second pit stop. In the GT3 class, we've got Core Sim Racing, the 211 car. They are in the lead of that GT3 class, with NAB Racing in second now, 11.5 seconds behind, so not able to keep with the pace of Claudio Klima there as Fabien Dion. With Racing Lions, they are in third place in GT3. They have made a second stop, I do believe, because we have got
sorry to interrupt you, Paul, but the GT3 Core Sim Racing has been penalized with a stop and hold 120 for a non-registered driver.
Wow! So 1 minute 20 stop and go penalty for the 211 Core Sim Racing leading GT3 class car. That is a massive penalty, and that will lose them a lap, maybe. Well, definitely a lap, about a lap and a quarter in terms of position on track. So that is a huge penalty for them, and yeah, obviously something's not gone right for them there, and an unregistered driver, that's a I don't like to say this, but it's a basic error to make, is that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Usually one of the things that Gathering of Tweakers gives every team a window to register any new drivers if they are going to register their any new drivers. So yeah, definitely one of those. Yeah, this shows one of how the simple things can really make or break the race. And yeah, this is definitely something that hate to say it, but kind of looks like a very basic kind of stupid mistake to make at this point in the race, and something that could have definitely been avoided, of course. But having said that, yeah, really unfortunate that it happened. But hey, the rules are the rules are the rules, and yeah, they knew, and now they're gonna have to pay for it.
Well, I am saying thank you to the YouTube chat for letting us know. No internet connection for their second driver, which, as we've been saying, things like that can happen, and it has happened to this team. And unfortunately, that means that they're going to have to take this big hit, but they will end up finishing the race and scoring points rather than not finishing at all, as NKH make a place due to pit stops. As we've got a spinning roof. It was Richard Simpson, I believe. Yep, blue line mud spots, losing control at the first corner, coming onto the track in front of the which car is that? The ABL car, isn't it? That came on in front of. That was a heart in mouth moment for them there. But yeah, just losing it all on his own into turn one. It's so easily done there, just going in a little too fast, and that spun the car. But yeah. Maybe just needed his teammate to help him out there, just giving him a little bit of a spot, let him know when other cars are around.
Yeah, definitely. And to finish on the 211 course and racing car, it looks like the second driver was having problems with his internet connection, and of course, Gathering of Tweakers has a rule that the drivers should not drive more than a certain amount of laps. So I guess that after going through the regulations, they decided that it was better to take the 120-second stop and hold penalty than taking a DNF for exceeding driver limits.
Well, I can tell you that we have got the leading GT3 cars on pit road. So NAB Racing are on pit road. Racing Lions also, they're on pit road as well, both changing drivers. So this driver limit for the amount of laps that they have there, they're obviously changing to make sure that they don't fall foul of that rule. This will be their last pit stop, as we've got the GTC class leader as well just coming out of pit. Oh no, not the GTC class leader, sorry. One of the other GTC cars coming out of the pit road as well. So everybody making their final stops in GT3 and in GTC.
Yeah, now we should be able all the classes should be going through their last pit stops now, except for maybe the prototypes, which some of them may have to do a final splash and dash. But I really don't see after this any of the GT3 or GTC cars having to come into the track again. So yeah, now for all those cars, they should be able to now just race to the finish.
So just so there's again thanks to the YouTube chat and the season administrators, just clarifying, they did notify the administrators of the change of driver, so it's not like they just had a random driver come in. They did notify them, but of course it was after the deadline that they have to register their drivers for each car. So taking that penalty, taking the hit, they are currently in 6th place in GT3. But they are now a lap down on the leading GT3 car of NAB Racing, with the Racing Lions in 2nd place. They've both made their final pit stop. And, well, Blackadder Motorsports now, the 267 car, they're up to 3rd place now. So, good news for them, with Euphoria Racing White still within sort of reaching distance in 4th place in GT3. So, yeah, it's the high drama, all of a sudden, just suddenly happening there to get the old adrenaline going for us, because it's all just calming down a little bit there.
I have to say as well, if that was the FA Cup, then that team would be disqualified. It's happened. You know, if they have a player on the field who's not supposed to be there, they would be disqualified. Simple as that. It's an interesting one, you know. Some could argue that the team should always be disqualified outright. because it is something that's severe. And I mean, at the end of the day, there is no limit, if I remember correctly, to the number of people you can register at the beginning of a season. So why put yourself into that circumstance? A good race team should always have a backup. I'm sorry, always.
Well, unfortunately, they have to register the driver per race, and unfortunately, this driver isn't registered. So that's what's happened there with them having internet problems for their second driver. Unfortunately, it happens, and you know how I was saying how race control had nothing to do.
They have got something now. Iconic Racing is fun. Sorry, Iconic Racing. They've just had a 2-car crash, and that was, I can't remember whom that was with. We're gonna get ourselves an immediate replay of that one. That is down into the centerette. They were already being put under investigation, but now there's been a second incident with them.
The 4X Racing Fatties, they ended up collecting there, so yeah, that's a massive...
That was a dive
almost
bomb.
As if, yeah, that was not good driving there at all, and unfortunately, they really shouldn't have done that. They should have hung back there, and that's cost them both time and possibly another penalty for Avid Chronic Racing, because they are getting a stop and hold penalty for the first. Well, actually, they're going to get it for 2 dive bombs at turn 1. So 60-second stop and go penalty for Avid Chronic Racing. So all of a sudden, I've jinxed the stewards. They've got work to do.
I've just got to say, we've got a sound clip that can go with this. You ready? Here we go. No, wrong one. Wrong one. It's this one.
Holy mother of shandies.
Yeah. There we are. The reason why I played that, because the start of it is talking about Avid Chronic Racing.
Really? I did not know that. Well, a little. I actually said mother of shandies with my wife around. She said, what the heck does that mean? And
we have no idea.
I actually, the response I had was, I really don't know. I have to say, though, I feel bad for the 4X Fatties car. I'm watching them live. They just gotten lapped by the V Apex Racing team in almost the same manner, though I have to say that the Apex Racing team was side by side before you get on the brakes, which is how you do that. But boy, that's for Mark Figueres, that's got to be frightening. Twice in a row, you have Daytona prototypes on the inside.
Well, the thing is, they'll be able to take a pit stop now, won't they? And I know you'll take the pit stop first and then take the penalty, but they can take the pit stop now, and so at least they're not having to worry about having to have a splash and dash at the end now. So it's kind of worked for them.
May I be controversial?
No.
No, please don't. No.
I think that they should have had a second penalty, and their second penalty should have been a 2-minute penalty, and here's the reason why. They've just basically been rolled up 2 penalties into one. You assess every incident for what it is, because otherwise, if I know I'm getting a penalty, I'll start driving more dangerously. I'll start barging people out of the way in my rush into pit road. I do think that Avid Chronic Racing should have got a second penalty there, rather than it all just being rolled up into a 60-second stop and hold. Hashtag
well, I mean, that's... Hey, that's fine, but, I mean, that's still almost an entire lap if you include the pit cycle. Just off your race, so I mean that's going to drop them down. Well, it's either way. I mean, because with a 3, it'd be basically a 3.5 minute penalty plus a pit stops. That'd be, that's a. Well, I mean, it's debatable both ways. I guess I can see it.
Well, Vincent, the king of controversy.
No, I'm just trying to think.
Not at all.
Because
Not at all.
they are, they're currently in P number 11. Had they have had a second penalty, they would have lost the position as a consequence of that. In fact, they would have lost arguably 2 positions as a consequence. And top of this broadcast, you were talking, Paul, about the fact that points all the way up and down the field are close. Yes, we might be talking about the difference between P number 11, P number 13, but points are points.
Yeah, absolutely are points, and I'll tell you what, this YouTube chat is is really helping us out tonight, because they hadn't given the first penalty, so that's why they absorbed it into the one penalty, Will. So
No, but it doesn't matter.
The,
2 incidents equals 2 penalties, in my opinion. 1 incident equals 1 penalty.
But what if they were giving a stop, just a drive-through?
Oh, okay. I've just been told that the reason why is the first would have been a warning, so they did bump it up. So I'll take back everything I said.
Yeah, there you go.
I was right, but
No, you were right. Yes.
I was right. The first was a warning, and then the second was a stop and hold as a consequence. There we are.
I'm glad we got to the end of that. Just out of interest, by the way, the 267 Blackadder Motorsports car is closing up to the Racing Lions, and this is for P2 in the GT3 class, so got a bit of on-track action going on here between those two. We've also got Darren Seal. He's been slowly closing in on Yuka Savati in the Blue Flag Racing prototype, so that's one to just maybe keep an eye on there. But Seamless battle for P2 and GT3. Once again, these GT3 cars giving us a lot of excitement during this race.
Before they give us excitement, because I have a feeling that that Blackadder's car is going to catch that Racing Lions car, I just want to throw this out there before anything else crazy happens. That FRT Hawkers.co car, the number 142 prototype, that has got to be one of the most finest painted cars I think I've seen.
It's literally like a peacock, isn't it? And it's painted inside as well. A lot of people forget the inside of the car, but it's still pretty inside as well.
Oh dear, that's a little, that's a little much. Okay, everything seamed up politely. You know, everything's like seamed up nicely. Everything looks good. It looks good from a distance. Looks up close. I don't know. Before anything else happened, I wanted to get that out. It's like a forever hold your peace sort of thing. So, all right, now we can commence.
Well, we've got a backmarking GTC car in front of this battle for second place in GT3. So Racing Lions getting held up there as they're now going to go down the inside. But Blackadder Motorsports there. Oh, what? That's GTC car contact. Oh, with the Blackadder Motorsport GT3 car, and that's it's a hell of an error to make right there. And I mean, did he just lose it himself, Will?
We got the replay up, so we're gonna look at it in slow time. Yeah, the back end, you know, there was one in Ferradura, back end stepped out once, and then with 2 faster cars, he tried to get out of the way, took the wider line, and this is what the situation of the marbles are. You go into the marbles, and all of a sudden, you have no grip at all. And that car was losing it. Nothing anyone could have done there. It's one of those times, Paul, where Blackadder have been screwed out of the chance of getting themselves P2. We don't know how much damage there was. It was a low-speed hit, but there's no blame that really can be apportioned there at all, because actually the GTC driver did the right thing. Try and move out the way, try and allow the drivers to go past. He just got himself onto the marbles, and as a consequence, he just ran out of grip.
Yeah, well, they're now on pit roads. Obviously, damage to the front car, because they did take the hit on that right on the front right of the car. So obviously, damaged the suspension and the steering on that car. So they're on pit road at the moment, getting repairs done to that car. But Richard E. Simpson not had the best of times. Of course, it was him that lost control into turn 1 as well, wasn't it, Will? So unfortunately for him, he's once again had a spin, and that's cost him dearly. Will he retire from the race, or will he get that car back up and running? Because so far, touch wood, everyone who started this race is still running.
Yeah, we had 32 people take the green flag. 34 people were registered for this race. But we have so far everyone's still running. If I look at Gilgali, and his lines don't look bad. That car does look as touch wood. Wait, there we are. Touch wood. It's okay. That car.
Well, I don't have any real wood around me, so unfortunately I can't touch any wood. So,
he's going to open.
But yeah, they're side by side, going down the pit straight now, Racing Lions and Blackadder, well, 3 wide, yeah, with the GTC car there as well. But Blackadder Motorsport making that move down the inside, and Racing Lions don't really have anything to answer to that, even though that Blackadder Motorsport has a little bit of damage.
I would say that car is now officially okay.
Yeah, let's have a look at that then. We'll take it away.
Well, it was just a case coming down the start-finish line, a start-finish straight even, just got himself down to the inside. Now, he got the inside line, mainly because of the fact the Racing Lions car was trying to sort its own line out of a little bit of backmarker traffic. Blackadder decided to pounce as a consequence. Well, part of me is trying to work out how Racing Lions lost so much time in the last lap, though, because, of course, with that spin for Blackadder, it doesn't feel... I'm wondering whether the Racing Lions car slowed down and had an incident we weren't showing.
I mean, the lap times look pretty consistent from the Racing Lions, so...
It's on pit road, by the way.
I wouldn't maybe say that. And yeah, we've got, so onto pit road goes, so another pit stop and away they go. Rudy de Vries is away for Sim Racing for Holland. He drops down to third place for the time being, with Christian Kiewit in front of them in the Team Hoisevelt Engineering car, but only just ahead of them, so that tells you the gap that it had. By the way, the gap that Core Sim Racing now have at the front is about 1 minute 5 seconds with that pit stop, so Pekka Lamy, he just has to take it steady, not too easy, because when you go too easy you lose concentration. We just have to look at the classic one of Ayrton Senna at Monaco getting told to slow down, and when he did, he went and crashed. So you don't want to lose your concentration too much, but certainly you don't need to be on the edge of adhesion, you don't need to be pushing it to that ragged edge when you're that far ahead in the lead. But yeah, Rudy de Vries is in that third place at the moment, but with that extra pit stop at the moment. But Team Hoisevelt Engineering, you would have thought they would be coming in soon for their final splash and dash in this prototype field.
Just to give you an update, by the way, the high octane car, we've seen them on pit road a couple of times, having issues a couple of times today. Their car had no front engine cover on it a moment ago. It does now, but it's still a little bit damaged. You can see, especially on the front arches of that car, that's really going to affect the aerodynamic grip pretty substantially on that one. So they've been in the wars, that number 220 machine, but they're trying to finish off their final service of the day, and hopefully they'll go out and try and bring that car home. Got ourselves, though, still Hickman v Apex Racing also battling it out with Tommy Vandergut right now in that Blackadder Motorsports car. This is going to be a battle, basically, that will go through the final pit stop. But actually, no, Blackadder's on towards pit road there, Paul.
Yeah, so, Blackadder going for their splash and dash. Will they take on tyres? Because it's the tyres that take, it's the fuel that takes the time, but, would it be worth taking tyres, taking those fresh set of tyres?
You might as well. The amount of time that you're going to have to put fuel in for, you might as well take tyres as well. We'll go back, actually. We'll have a look at Tommy. Pit stop times, we've seen them as low as 18 seconds previously. Get the graphic up for you. Having a look, it looks like, we know that he's going to stay in the car towards the end of this race. Getting a little bit of damage repaired to that car. Drops off the guns. Fresh tyres, 17.4 out and away, Paul.
Yeah, fantastic work from the team there to make that choice. I mean, is that a case of them choosing to make that pit stop at that precise moment because the other car was catching up to them and maybe not wanting to get into a battle at that point, maybe getting clean air and get the quick lap times in?
Yep. They can see Tommy Van has got there out for his final spin. Rudy de Witt, though, this is, I think, going to be a fantastic battle to bring this one home. Paul, talk us through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've got Tommy Vandergut there at the wheel. Legends Racing just behind them. Not Legends Racing, it's behind them. It's NKH who's behind them at the moment. And, NKH, they've had a couple of issues, as we said earlier on themselves. So they're going to the end on their fuel stop as well. So, less than a second between them. That's going to be a battle that goes. But Rudy de Vries at the front there with Christian Kiewit in the Team Hoisevelt Engineering car. They're battling away for that second place overall. And, Alvin, we've seen how difficult it is to make moves around this infield section, but we have seen people do it as well, as they get caught up behind that DRS racing car.
Yeah, definitely. It is difficult to make a move in the infield section. Do that. Pretty much you're going slow, so there's really no much downforce that can help you to set up those moves. But yeah, we've seen people today not be afraid to get an overtake done, and we've seen really amazing overtakes throughout this race on the infield section. So just because the corners may be low percentage in terms of overtaking doesn't mean that it's impossible to do the overtake, and we have seen the drivers today make that statement true by attempting an overtake whenever they just have a chance to do it.
And Cam, just from, I believe you got some news that will mean that I'll have to get the black marker of doom out to remove one of the cars from this race.
I wouldn't call it the black marker of doom. It's clearly more of the black marker of death. Black mark, yeah, something, I don't know. Anyways, the high-octane motorsport car, after being ridiculed by somebody with an extraordinarily obnoxious yellow marker, is now retired after somebody has defaced it. So, no, the high-octane motorsports GT3 car is retiring. Their second driver has a broken wheel, and their first driver is at the lap limit. Oh my goodness gracious! Like breaking a wheel at these endurance races, I have to say, we have accumulated quite a kill count for equipment, if I do have to say so myself.
Wheels, pedals. We haven't heard of anyone's have you seen the videos of people's monitors?
Some people's screen froze, yeah.
Yeah, there's one where someone like literally was going around the corner and their entire monitor rig collapsed.
I guess we had that during. Oh no, I saw that one. That one was just funny.
Yeah.
We did have somebody screen freeze during the Daytona 500, which was as exciting as. Well, actually, you know what? It wasn't exciting at all. It was the opposite of what you thought it would have happened. Actually.
Oh. By the way,
engineering on pits.
178. Yeah, 178 on
Yep.
pit road. Just one other thing as well. Just showing Kyle Burney is actually the closest that we have in a battle as it stands. He's trying to catch up to the rear of the Black Adder Motorsports number 166 car. I've got to give a shout out to Bernie, of course. He does the spotter guides that a number of the race fans, including us here at Racebot TV, use. So thank you very much, Mr. Kyle Burney, for your spot guides, because they are incredibly useful. Back to you, Paul.
I was just about to say, Will, does that deserve the golf applause for Mr. Kyle Burney?
See, I'm confused because I don't know if that's a purple car or a pink car.
Oh my god, we're not having this conversation. It's purple.
Yeah,
It's purple. It's not pink.
I don't know.
And it's certainly not lightish
red. We've done this once before. I don't remember whose car, but I'm not sure.
It's purple. Move on.
It's pretty close to pink.
No, it's purple.
It's a very light shade of purple, alright, at best.
It's purple. Let's move on.
It's vibrant and it's purple. Back to you, Paul.
I like it. I'm just saying. I
Cam,
like
enough. Let's. Oh, it's the NKH car going onto the grass. Yeah.
Almost got some black and grey on that.
You need to stop talking about it. That's what you need to do, Cam.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's move on to the car with the American flag on, the Blue Line Motorsports Pro Speed Competition car, who obviously is not having a great day, judging by the right front of that car. But you know, it's pretty classical. You know, I like how they've gotten the flag on it. That's pretty nifty.
Well, of course, that was the car that we saw getting involved in that GT3
with the
battle,
Black
losing
Adder?
control. Yeah. So that's where that damage came from on the front right. So, but yeah, as you say, very clean,
and then
crisp,
the art cars
and
behind it.
the art car, the FRT Hawker car. Yes, they're just coming up to lap them as well. But yeah, Kyle Burney, the closest battle at the moment on track. Everyone else just spread out a little bit now. Those final pit stops having taken place in the prototypes, but so and yeah, well, I think you're. I think we want to take a quick break. So what we'll do is just
the viewers didn't hear me say that, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know we did. But I just.
Well, Vincent, talking in my ear, as always, luckily it's not singing Happy Birthday in a seductive way like we did in the Watkins Glen, the Sebring 12 Hours last year. But
Coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, which is coming up pretty soon. But luckily this time it's not on my birthday, so I don't get that I felt dirty after that, I will say that. But yeah, we'll go side by side for our final commercial break, and then we'll pick up the action with about half an hour to go. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with the Gathering of the Tweakers 3 hours of Interlagos here on iRacing Live and RaceSpot TV.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 3 hours of Interlagos here, your presentation of the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series on Racebot.tv, streaming live on iRacing Live. If you haven't already, head over to racebot.tv/timing and get yourselves a little look at all the times and all the scores as they happen live. And also, no, I shan't subscribe to your channel, but you can subscribe to ours if you like. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Will. So into the last half hour of this 3 hours of Interlagos, and in first place in the prototypes it is Core Sim Racing. They have a 1 minute 8 second lead. This is fantastic from them. They've yet to make a third pit stop for a splash and dash, so well, they can take as much time as they want in the pit stop, to be honest. Well, maybe not as much time as they would have liked, but certainly can take it easy in the pit stop. Sim Racing for Holland, shut up now. Sim Racing for Holland, they're in second place. They are the only other car on the lead lap at the moment. They're, as I say, 1 minute 8 behind the Core Sim Racing car. In third place, the team Hoising Engineering. Christian Kiewit at the wheel of that car. They are in third place there in your prototypes. In GT3, it's NAB Racing. They're in the lead of that class after the issue that Core Sim Racing were having there, so NAB at the lead. Blackadder Motorsports, they're in second place, and in third place Racing Lions, who are about 5 seconds behind there, behind them with GTC. Baguette Racing, they're in the lead of that class with Spirit of the Law in second place, and the Orange Devils are in third place.
We've got to say goodbye to Cam.
I was going to say goodbye to Cam because he's got to get off now.
Yes, the wifey has just pulled in, so we're gonna go do like boring adult things and have conversations about stuff, and well, I will let you guys do all the cool race car-y, funny, drivey, cool liveried things.
Well, it's nice of you to pop by, and will you be on the Neo coverage tomorrow?
Of course, who else?
And what time is that from, Cam?
No, really, who else? I need to know. It will start... it will start around 9 o'clock Eastern, which will be 2 o'clock GMT, pretty sure. So, stick around just a little half an hour early. We'll pop on by in the Neo Endurance Series. Of course, the big 6-hour race here, as of course we have some lovely vehicles here with the GTC Cup car, the GT3 car, and the C7R prototype. But you can come on to the Neo Endurance Series. We'll have, of course, the whole slew, the big gamuts, the Comandos, the Radicals, driving the prototypes, the GT1 cars, and the GT2 cars. So hopefully that'll be a good event at all, as well as a good event we have here today in the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series event. But either of that, thanks for having me. We'll see you all later with your pink prototypes.
It's purple, and thanks a lot, Cam, for joining us. So yeah, with the closest battle at the moment is Kyle Burney, still behind Tommy Vandergut in the Blackadder Motorsports car. That's a battle for 6th place overall, and well, it's been going on for quite a while now, as this will. And is there about a time, does there come a time where a driver sort of says, right, I've got to make this move, and I've got to make it sooner rather than later, because there are only 23 minutes left?
Yeah, now. Literally, now. If you got the opportunity. I mean, Carl's probably spent the last couple of laps trying to figure out where he's stronger, where he's weaker compared to his competition. This is one track, though, where, because it's got 2 very long straightaways, and then that stupid twiddly bit in the middle, it means that you've got 2 very different options for setups. And I'm trying to figure out, we're on board right now with Bernie, trying to figure out where he's better than his competition. And I think that he just lost himself 4 tenths of a second on that infield, but he just chews away some time as they get themselves into the fast bit. Now there's a little bit of traffic going up, but I'm thinking he's going to have to try and hope that traffic goes his way in the next few laps, because he's actually just going to have a Blackadder car kind of like bulk his entry into turn 1 a little bit.
Maybe the Blackadder team helping each other there. Maybe not intentionally, but certainly helping them out there, because Carl Burney's just lost about half a second, maybe more than half a second just through that SNRS. But the traffic ahead, the GTCs, that's going to affect the Blackadder Motorsports car in a moment, because two battling GTC cars there. Well, I say battling, they're one after the other. Oh, just losing the back end a little bit there, the Blackadder car.
Yeah, and that's allowed Bernie to close it back up to 6 tenths per second, but now there's that Core Motorsports car. He's going to get through without any issue, but again, time cost for Carl Bernie, just behind, by the way. It's worth noting that Euphoria Racing are still pushing. The gap is 2 seconds right now between Euphoria Racing and Racing Lions. Last time by Racing Lions were faster by 2 tenths per second, but Euphoria Racing White have not given up yet.
Absolutely not, and why would they? They've got the sniffer. Oh, there's a little bit of contact actually for the NKH car and the 356. That's Baguette Racing. That's the leading GTC car. Just a little bit of contact coming out of Young Cow there. So NKH hopefully not getting too much damage. Also, hopefully not too much damage for Baguette Racing as well.
Oh, this is where you want me to talk.
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got a replay of this up, so there we are then. Down to the inside goes the NKH car into Yun Sao. Just trying to think, does that car overshoot the corner? Oh, he starts losing the back end on that curb just a little bit, and that then means Baguette Racing just touches the rear. It's not too bad, but it's enough just to unsettle that NKH car just a little bit more. So the And1 Design Super Slow-Mo replay are working well on that one. Have you seen our new graphics yet?
Absolutely, I've been admiring the new graphics with the test video, especially the video with Johnny Simon.
Yeah.
The video that he didn't want coming out. That was certainly a good demonstration of our new graphics there. And1 Design doing a fantastic job with them as always.
We hope to have it for this series next month. We hope.
Well, let's hope that
Hugo gets some work, in other words.
Yeah, it's Euphoria Racing White. They're about 2.5 seconds behind now. Carl Burney, by the way, with that incident, he's now 2.4 seconds behind Tommy van der Gucht. So that battle just easing off a little bit with that incident happening there. But yeah, Euphoria Racing White, they're trying their best, but they're just still about 2.5 seconds behind. In fact, they're coming up to some traffic here as well. So they've got to make it work, and they've got to try and just they've got to get some big chunks of time here, Al.
Yeah, definitely. We're pretty much less than 20 minutes ago. Now is the time to really go for it. If you're really gonna go for it, as there's really not gonna be any more time left in this race to make up position. So if you're really in a battle for one position, now is the time to really get and go for it, as we are really closing into the end of the race. So let's see how all the cars that are in close battle, let's see how they handle it, and see who goes for the overtake and who decides to stay put and perhaps wait for a mistake.
Traffic is playing a part for NKH and also for Blackadder Motorsports, so they're closing up, but they're actually closing up to Darren Seal in that Legends Racing car as well, so this could be a bit of a three-way battle for 5th place towards the end of this race with those guys, so certainly worth keeping an eye on those guys. But yeah, Euphoria Racing White, they are about 1.8 seconds behind at the moment, behind the Racing Lions. So as we've been saying, they're not giving up. They've got 18 minutes to catch up that time, and to not only catch up, but then to make the move.
Yeah, definitely. We had this 5th, 6th, and 7th place cars in the prototype class. They are about 1 to 2 seconds apart from each other, but definitely 6th and 7th, they are really starting to push a little bit harder to see if they can catch up to Darren Seal in the Lions Racing C7. So let's see throughout the remaining 18 minutes of the race, how they goes, as the Legends Racing now is starting to catch the GT3 Core Sim Racing. Now let's see if they can have some some patience while overtaking and see if they can keep the gap as it is right now.
I could tell you that Juha-Pekka Lamy still hasn't made a final pit stop, so I would have thought he'd make a splash and dash by now, but certainly maybe just seeing how far he can go in this race before he does have to make that splash and dash, maybe some good information for future events around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Given the advantage that they have right now, they can. They were having some jokes in Juha-Pekka Lamy's Twitch TV channel that he can pretty much stop, have a coffee, call his mom to say that he is going to win, and then keep going while they do a final splash of fuel. But yeah, this is definitely something that, given the advantage that they have right now, they can pretty much jump. Let's see how far they can go in terms of fuel consumption, and this could be very valuable information for the last 2 rounds.
We have a battle for P5. Darren Seal has been caught up by Tommy van der Gucht, and certainly the lap traffic has been affecting things there. Tommy van der Gucht having to take the wide line round there, getting on the marbles, so losing a little bit of grip there, but Darren Seal getting caught up in this traffic, and this is giving Blackadder Motorsports the opportunity to possibly put him under pressure and to really get onto the back end of that Legends racing car. They'll want to get past along with Darren through Junção there, and they managed to do that. Darren Seal just losing the back end, just twitching there on the exit. That means he'll get a slower exit out of Junção, and now down the pit straight they're going to go. They're going to go side by side. Surely Blackadder looking to the left, now going out wide. Darren Seal's tyres may be going here because he, I don't remember rightly, but I do think he pitted a little bit earlier than them. But around the outside into the centre S here, he's going to have the inside into the next part, but Darren Seal holding it out down the outside, which means he's got the inside for covered us all, and he's going to hold that place for the time being. But if his tyres are starting to go off, then it's maybe 14 minutes. That's going to be a tough ask to hold on for that long.
Yeah, definitely. Darren Seal has been on these set of tires 12 laps longer than Tommy van der Gucht so far. So it's really amazing how he can hold off Tommy and under these circumstances. So really good job by Darren Seal by keeping the car on the track, and also defending his position by with these older set of tires compared to the Blackadder Motorsports entry.
You can just see how that Blackadder Motorsports car can just take those corners, much more confidence, get on the power early and be able to drive out the corners. Once again, now they're going to go side by side surely down the start finish straight. Just Tommy van der Gucht's getting into the slipstream, looking to the left there, almost hitting the pit wall. Going down to the outside now, into the centre S once again, and he's trying to make that outside line work, but not working this time by. And Carl Burney should be really seeing these two battling and thinking, right, well, I'll get the foot down, put the pedal into the Axminster, and get caught up to the back of these, because he could maybe sniff a 5th place here.
Yeah, absolutely. Really great battle between them. Almost a really close call with the wall with Tommy van der Gucht, but it definitely looks like there's really no damage. Looks like there was no contact with the wall, fortunately. So yeah, definitely now with less than 13 minutes to go, now it's the time to go. We still have to see if Darren Seal may have to come back to the pits one more time for a final splash of fuel. So yeah, we also have to take that into consideration, as the Blackadder Motorsports, from the looks of it, it looks like he should be good to go.
Well, we're going to see him coming into Junção now, on to start another lap. We've got 12 and a half minutes left of this race, and V-Apex Racing Team are on pit road, so they're taking a splash and dash there. They were 4th place. Will they lose a position? No, I don't think they will, because Darren Seal and Tommy Vandergut are going onto the pit straight now, and he's got the inside liners, Tommy, here. Surely he can brake a little bit later into turn 1. They're going side by side through there, but this time Blackadder make it work, and Tommy Vandergut makes that move stick, and he's up into 5th place now for that position there. So good driving there. Good work from him to make that move stick. We've also got Euphoria Racing White have been closing up. They're now 0.7 of a second behind the Racing Lions. So this battle for Euphoria Racing White, they've really kept the pressure on, and they're going to try and take this to the line. It's 11 and a half minutes left in this race, and we've got a couple of battles here.
Yeah, definitely. Now we are pretty much close to the end of the race, and now all the teams that do have a fighting chance of getting more position, now we are starting to see those moves as well, as we saw the Blackadder Motorsports make a move on the Legends Racing of Darren Seal. So now let's see if the NKH Racing can catch up to the Legends Racing entry and see if they can also take the 6th place as well.
Well, the thing is, Darren Seal now will have the slipstream from Tommy Vandergut, so he'll be able to maybe on those higher speed sections keep up the pace. But Euphoria Racing White, Damian Gomez Cadera is certainly putting the pressure on now on Michael Postma, and well, going into Ferradura now, round this double apex right-hander and into this tight, tricky section. Well, he's not quite close enough to make a move, but he's been slowly, gradually bringing that gap down, and I think they maybe have the chance of getting that final podium position in the GT3 class.
Yeah, absolutely. They are now that pretty much they are starting to close now, and being in the GT3, they already they should be done with their stops since pretty much 1 hour ago. So now it's all go now or go home for them. So now let's see, with less than 10 minutes to go, let's see if they can get that position as well.
So yeah, so we're into the final 10 minutes. Your leader of this race is Core Sim Racing, the 111 car. They are 1 minute 10 seconds ahead of Sim Racing for Holland, the 151 car. Rudy de Witt at the wheel of that one with Team Hoisevelt Engineering. They're in 3rd place at the moment in their class there. In GT3, NAB Racing, they are in the lead of GT3 with Blackadder Motorsports in 2nd. And then you've got this battle for 3rd here. Euphoria Racing White looking to the inside there of turn 4, trying to make that move stick, not able to make it work this time by, but Racing Lions holding on to that 3rd place at the moment in GT3. And in GTC, Baguette Racing, they are in the lead of that class of cars, with Spirit Le Mans in 2nd. Orange Devils are in 3rd, and DRS Racing, they are about 6.5-7 seconds behind. So you would maybe think that the Orange Devils will be able to hold on to that place, but one little mistake or a bit of bad traffic, and well, DRS could be involved in that one. But we'll keep our attention at the moment on this battle for 3rd place in GT3. Euphoria Racing White very late onto the brakes into Jung Kao there, and Racing Lions having to try and get the better exit out of there, down towards the pit straight now. A little bit of backmarking traffic there that gets out of the way, so that's good for that. But Euphoria Racing White now closing the gap in that slipstream there. They've not really got the overspeed there, so I'm wondering if they're maybe running just a tiny bit more aero drag on that car to have the better infield section, but they are certainly in the slipstream there, and they are on the tail of that Racing Lions car. As a fact now, they're coming alongside one of the GTC traffic, that's the ABL car. They're going to go past them. Euphoria Racing White looking to the inside of turn 4, hurry to get out of it though, really put on the brakes, because Racing Lions, they gave them just enough room, but Euphoria Racing White certainly signalling their intentions, Alvin.
Yeah, definitely. There's now. Yeah, it should be now go now or go home. It looks like Euphoria Racing White now really want to get that position, and really cement that, get that podium position for this race, which as it stands right now for Racing Lions, they are I know that what they are also racing for third place. They are also thinking that any position that they start losing right now is also more points that they are losing for their championship, as looks like NAB Racing is gonna win this race on the GT3 class as well.
And we've had V-Apex Racing Team. They've lost a couple of places there because they were further up the field. So Tommy Vandergocht is now up to 4th place overall, with Darren Seal back in 5th place. So Gary Hickman down to 6th place with he had a 1 minute 40.6 second lap
Euphoria.
last time out. And Euphoria, they're making the move now. They're trying their best to get around the outside of Curva de Sol. And, well, Euphoria, they are trying their best to make this move and make it now. They've got some lap traffic ahead of them, the GTCs. They're going to be involved here. Euphoria making the late break into turn 4 once again. They're going to try and keep the nose inside there, but Racing Lions able to hold the line at the moment. We're into the final 6 minutes of this race, and, well, Euphoria, they're trying their absolute damnedest to get past Racing Lions. They've just run a little bit wide there onto the marbles a little bit there, so that maybe lose them a little bit of grip. And now lap traffic. Oh, that lap traffic going side by side with Racing Lions. Racing Lions having to go the long way around. That's the 381 car, Sasha Lamp, in the Talk Freak Racing entry. They were going side by side there, but now letting them past. But yeah, this Euphoria Racing white car certainly looking handy here towards the end as we come up to 5 minutes to go, Alvin.
Yeah, it looks like now this battle is really heating up for that final podium position. To the good fortunes of the Racing Lions, that GTC car that was ahead of both of them, it really affected both of the GT3s in the same way. So really, no advantage gain or loss, as they are now going back into they are now going into battle with another GTC car. So now let's see how if the Euphoria Racing White can get a better exit coming out of here and finally do the overtake.
Well, that's the leading GTC car of Baguette Racing that they're coming to lap now, and Euphoria Racing White, they certainly look a little bit stronger down this first part of the lap, but that Baguette Racing car just compromising their line a little bit for Euphoria Racing White, so maybe not getting the ideal line through turn 4 there, but now coming around this double apex right-hander, it's uphill still up to the top of this section here before we get into the really tight twisty section now, and Racing Lions are doing exactly what they need to do, just positioning the car right and not letting them get a sniff of this, but they're certainly under a lot of pressure, and it's good work so far from Michael Postma.
3 to go, by the way. I've just done the math. There's going to be 3 laps to go when you pass the line across the start-finish line. So that's now. One thing I've noticed in this fight for P3, P4 is that Euphoria need there not to be traffic in front, because they need the one-on-one straight line speed advantage. They cannot get anywhere near close when there's lots of traffic around to allow that 241 car the chance to get a tow of itself. This is probably going to be the best chance they're going to have for the remainder of this race.
Well, yeah, there's about 3 minutes to go here, and well, they're not quite close enough that time by though. So Racing Lions able to get a good exit out of John Cow to be able to carry that speed up the hill, and Euphoria Racing White running wide over the painted concrete on the outside of that turn there, but still really trying to put the pressure on here. NKH behind, by the way, they're battling away with V-Apex Racing Team. There's only 0.4 of a second between those two at the moment, so we'll certainly keep abreast of that. But Euphoria Racing White, they are all over the back of that Racing Lions car like a bad smell.
Yeah, this is pretty much now 3 laps to go, and this battle, it looks like it's not gonna be over now. Euphoria has had pretty much an idea of where he is the stronger car versus the Racing Lions car, and like Will just said before, look for him to set up passes for the long straightaway. So now let's see if now coming here out of Junkow, if he can get a good run coming out of here to see if he can overtake the Racing Lions for first spot. And from the looks of it, it looks like he got a good run, and now we got a prototype car coming just behind him. So it looks like he may back out, and
he's not going to back out. He's going to look down the inside here into turn 1, and he's trying to make that move stick. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there, is there? Well, if there is, he's held back and allowed the Racing Lions car to keep the position, so good driving from them there if there was that little bit of contact. But we are in the final 2 minutes of this race, and well, these two certainly aren't giving up. They're fighting hammer and tongs for this race. It's getting a little bit physical, close now into turn 4, down late on the brakes once again, but Racing Lions holding that line, holding that position, and keeping ahead of them there, Will.
Yeah, that was very, very close. We're going to get ourselves another look at the pass that happened down in towards turn number 1. We had ourselves a bit of a bad angle the first time. I'm going to get ourselves another one then. This is from up above as these guys heading themselves down.
Oh, contact! Racing Lions have been turned! Euphoria Racing White have made contact with them, and that's going to cost them the position. Now, Euphoria Racing White, they're going to hold back and wait for Racing Lions to come past. It certainly looks like it because they're hanging back there. And they're looking like they're trying to let Racing Lions to come through here. Right,
we didn't see it live, but we're going to show it to you right now. This is what was the pass attempt down into turn number 4. You can see it was another late break. He got alongside, but couldn't make the corner. Then they head themselves up the hill into Ferradura, and from then on in, it's all craziness. You can see there's prototype cars working themselves around as well. Opportunistic time kicked in there for that car, but I have to say, good respect afterwards. The NK car almost got knocked out of that one as well, a secondary impact, but well, it's all kicked off. One more lap now to settle it, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the final lap here. Pekka Lamy just out front there. He has made a final pit stop, by the way. It was only a quick splash and dash there, but certainly this battle in GT3 is still going to go on, but not really close enough at the moment to Euphoria Racing White, and this was their best opportunity really down into this section. This is where they seem to be the strongest, but so they're going to miss out on that possibility, but good driving from them. But as we come up around the final few corners here, GoT Racing with Pekka Lamy at the wheel is going to come across the line here to take the win of the 3 hours of Interlagos here in the Catherine of Tweakers. Fantastic work there from GoT Racing. Brilliant work to just basically lead from the front. The only times they didn't lead was when they had pit stops. Fantastic work from them. Sim Racing for Holland are going to come through in second place. I can tell you, NAB Racing, they are going to have to do another lap, I believe, because they were ahead of GoT Racing. So NAB going to have to do that extra lap there. But Sim Racing for Holland, they're coming round there. Through to Junkow with Evan Maliad, the GTC leader in the Baguette racing car. They're coming through there as well, so they're going to come across the line shortly. Sim Racing for Holland go past them there, and they will come in second place with Sim Racing for Holland, but Baguette Racing behind them will come across the line to take the win once again in the GTC class. Fantastic work from them. They made the move on Spirit of Le Mans earlier on, and they made it work. But yeah, absolutely fantastic work from them. NAB still coming round at the moment, and Euphoria Racing White, they end up finishing 4th place behind Racing Lions in that battle that we were watching all the way towards the end there. Tim Hoysenveld Engineering, they're going to come across the line right now to finish 3rd place overall in the prototype class. Fantastic work from them. And NAB, they're coming up the hill now, coming around the final couple of corners here, and they will see the checkered flag for a race win that they thought maybe they wouldn't get after losing the position to GoT Racing. But, well, that incident with GoT Racing, that means that NAB take the win once again in GT3. Fantastic work from them there, with Blackadder Motorsport still running in 2nd place in class, and they have got quite the margin there. In fact, I think they're actually slowing down. So, well, congratulations to everyone who's driven there. We only lost one car from that race today, so that's pretty good going, and that was the High Octane Motorsports 220 car. Fantastic work there, and Alvin, quite a breathless finish to the race there.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of really close battle between the Euphoria Racing White and the Racing Lions. Kind of unfortunate what happened kind of there at the end, but also a heads up for Euphoria Racing White for waiting for the Racing Lions and letting them take the position back. So it really shows that even though this is a race and you try to make your best to get all the positions that you want, it's also good to see that these drivers also have respect towards each other when they know that something went wrong and they don't want to really get into more trouble because of some mistakes like this.
And well, Will, just quickly, just that GT3, once again, they were showing that they can battle all the way through the race.
Yeah, fantastic scrap we had there. It's a shame that it ended the way it did. But at the same time, there's about 3 or 4 occasions when it looked as though it could well have ended that way. So, again, good sportsmanship. That's the key thing that shines through for me more than anything else out of that. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you've got to time your moves, and maybe it was just a case of being a little bit too aggressive too early. So we can just see there, Evan Malia doing some donuts there on pit road. That won't get him a penalty at all as he gets run into there by the Hawk Sim Racing car. But I think maybe they should have tried to wait for the final lap. They knew they had 1 lap to go. They knew they had the opportunity. And they were getting closer and closer down into towards turn number 4. So, hindsight. Hindsight is always the important thing in these situations. But at the same time, fantastic. That GT3 division today was superb from top to bottom.
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll take you through your race results, and well, in first place overall, an imperious drive once again from the core sim racing team, the 111 car, to win that race. Sim Racing for Holland, they finished in second place, with Team Hoisingveld Engineering in third place. Blackadder Motorsports finished fourth place in that race, with Legends Racing doing a good job holding V-Apex Racing behind them. NKH in 8th place, with FRT Hawker in 8th, I do apologise, with Woodbug Racing in 9th, and Hawk Sim Racing in 10th, with Avid Chronic Racing in 11th, 4X Racing in 12th, and 4X Racing Fatties in 13th. We saw them getting involved in an instant earlier on in the race there. In your GT3 class, NAB Racing winning that one in the end there. Blackadder Motorsports, the 267 car, they finished in second place, with Racing Lions in third. Euphoria Racing White, we saw that battle all the way to the end there, with Racing Lions ended up in fourth place. They did the right thing, as we say, giving that position back. Core Sim Racing, they ended up finishing 5th in class. They did drop down to 6th place in class, so able to make up 1 place in that stint at the end there, with Mad Cape Racing in 7th. Mad Cape Racing, the 274 car of Mad Cape Racing, should I say, the 272 car of Mad Cape Racing behind them, and then the Blackadder Motorsports number 269 car at the back of that GT3 class. And in your GTC class, you've got Baguette Racing. They won the race there for them once again. Another win for that dominating team. Spirit of Le Mans, they finished in second place, with Orange Devils in third. DRS Racing not able to make that move in the end then on the Orange Devils. They finished fourth. SRM Motorsports in fifth, with Torque Freak Racing in sixth. Core Sim Racing in the GTC class in seventh. ABL Endurance Team, we saw them being involved in a couple of little incidents. They finished in 8th, with WR Racing in 8th, in 9th place, and Blue Line Motorsports in 10th. The only car that retired from the starters, High Octane Motorsports 220 car. And well, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a couple of words with a couple of the drivers involved, and what we will do is we'll bring in Juha Pekalame for the Core Sim Racing team, and congratulations on a fantastic victory for yourselves.
Thank you, and hello all.
And so just talk us through that race, because your team, you pretty much led every lap but a couple in the pit stops. So was it difficult to keep the concentration up when you had such a big lead towards when you came into the car?
At first, before the race, I just said to Frederick that he should take the first couple of laps easy, just to see how the track is and how the race builds up from the start, and then I just told him to push. And me seeing that it's almost, it was almost over 1 minute's lead when I jumped into the car, so it was just my job to keep the car on the track, avoid the traffic, and bring her home.
And it was certainly a good first couple of stints from your teammate Frederick Rasmussen, your teammate there, and he certainly did the hard work for you to just basically jump in and take over to the win.
Yeah, it was amazing. I noticed that all the fast guys were doing the first stints, so it was very good for Frederick to take those stints.
Oh, just finally, that's another victory for yourselves in this series. So you did win last time out. So taking that into the championship, you'll be certainly looking to have closed up that gap. Of course, Team Horsitbelt Engineering finishing in third place, so that gap closing up even more.
I actually did some calculations before the race, and now that they came up third, I think we're gonna take the championship lead for now.
And just finally, anyone you want to give a quick mention to?
Yeah, I want firstly I want to thank Frederick Rasmussen for excellent driving. He's freaking talented alien. Then I want to, of course, thank Core Sim Racing for support, Crypt TV Alien Nation, the viewers on the stream, full support, awesome support, Gathering of Tweakers for this league, and of course RaceBot for broadcasting this awesome race.
Well, thank you very much, Juha, and congratulations on the race win.
Thank you.
And Alvin, you've got Fabian de Jong there of the NAB team.
Yeah, hey Fabian, great race from you, great win for your team, and also extending your points lead going into the next round.
Yeah, thank you. We won with a little bit of luck, but yeah, when you finish third, you need to, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely a good race for you. And is there anyone else that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, my teammate Martijn. And yeah, during the race we got a little bit, we were unlucky with the back markers, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you there, Fabian, and well done on that one there. And what we're going to do is hand it over to Mr. Will Vincent for speaking to Evan Maillard.
Bonjour. So yeah, GTC today. You guys started off in P number 2. You were then able to get yourself to the race lead about an hour or so into that one, and from then on, by the point that you got the car, it looked as though that it was going to be a case of making sure you brought it home, no issues, no worries. But how was the race for you?
Well, the race started pretty okay, starting in second. I wish I had first, but yeah, I kind of screwed up the qualifying, so it wasn't it. And then I had a pretty okay first stint with maybe a bit too many incidents with the prototypes, but that's alright. Not much damage done there, and then I gave the wheel to Yasin for the second stint, and they managed to pass the leader and got the lead. So, but then got in a few incidents with some traffic, so the car was a bit damaged. But it still managed to pull off a very nice lead of like about 18 seconds, I'd say, when I took the wheel back on from a second stint. So it was all good. We had a very nice race and all fun. Very good.
Now, the GT3 and the prototype divisions coming to this race, the points were pretty close. Not as much in the GTC division. How does that change the way you come and you approach the races, knowing the championship implications as they stand?
Well, I'd say we still push it to the limit all the time. It doesn't really matter how many points we've got in front, because you can always lose the race, or yeah, you're never really safe. So yeah, we always push.
And of course, we are in a situation. We are getting ourselves now closer and closer to the end of the season. Now we've got 2 races to go. One at Monza, and then one in Germany at the Nürburgring. If you win out at Monza, pretty much the championship is yours. But it's going to be a proper fast race. How difficult do you think Monza's going to be with 3 car classes, pure speed, and having to deal with these 3 crazy chicanes?
It's gonna be more difficult than pretty much any other track. I think Monza is gonna be crazy, and yeah, the draft makes it very hard to battle as well. It's very easy to stay together, and yeah, I hope it provides some good battles and some interesting moments.
Well, we'll talk
But
to
I'm really
after.
looking.
Carry on.
I'm really looking forward to racing the Nürburgring though. It's gonna be very fun, I think, after Monza.
Yeah, of course, we'll see you at both the events. Before we let you go, who would like to give a shout out to?
Well, again to you guys for the broadcast and the commentating. You're doing a great job, and well, to Yassine for co-driving. He did great as well. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Oh, just before I hand it back to Paul, I'm just having a look at the GOT website. Apparently, February 20th is now a thing, Paul.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's February 20th. Okay, that's a thing. Well, what we'll do is just have a quick word with the man who finished in GT3 in 3rd place, Michael Postma, in the Racing Lions car. And you certainly did not have it easy towards the end of the race there for yourself. Just talk us through that with you from your point of view.
Yeah, I started with testing and it was a bit slower than expected, and I just went 120%, and in the end I had a good fight with, I think it was Damien from Euphoria Racing, which I think went to the limit, and we gave each other room. I'm still soaking wet in my seat.
Oh, baby.
That's that's an image. But yeah, just talk us through that. You were going side by side. You were able to hold the positions, and also good sportsmanship from Euphoria Racing White as well at the end there.
Yeah, definitely. We said in our team we thought it was lost, and he stopped, and we didn't expect it, but it was really good sportsmanship, and we had a small fight at the end, but he was a bit too far. But I hope he enjoyed it as much as I did.
And it's your 3rd podium of the season as well for yourselves. It's your first 3rd place in the season, but you are in 2nd place in the championship at the moment in GT3. But NAB, with them winning, just pulls out that gap a little bit to you.
Yeah, that's true. We expect Court to be in front of us, but we will try our utmost to keep them behind us. But we're not sure if that's gonna work, but we will see. Still 2 races to go, and everything can still happen.
And is there anyone you want to give a special mention to?
First off, Damien for the good fight at the end, the Racing Lions team, and Neil for the great paint, and of course you guys for the broadcast, which makes it all happen, and my teammates at the last. They are also great.
Well, thank you very much. It was exciting racing to watch, and congratulations on the podium there, Michael.
Yeah, it was exciting to be in the race.
Well, congratulations there. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And, well, just quickly, do you want to have a quick word with Steve Clays from the Orange Devils, Will?
Okay, then. Steve Clays, hey, how you doing? He really doesn't want to talk to me. Oh, I was going to say, is it an anti-Will Vincent thing going on here? So you're a race here today. Talk us through it, because we'll be honest, the GTC teams haven't had as much airtime today because you all seem to be spread out very, very quickly. Did that make the racing more difficult, more boring? Talk us through it.
Well, racing is never boring, I would say. It's not such a big fight if everybody's spread out, like you said, but for us it was more defending our position, maintaining third position, and it's endurance racing, so there's always something to do with the faster cars. You don't want to lose too much time, giving them the position they want or the place they need on the track. So it's a compromise. You want to do your fast laps, maintain your position, and so it's in a way it's not boring, but of course it's always more interesting to have a fight on track with somebody from your own class than just defending or maintaining your position in the race or in the standings.
Now, the last 40-ish minutes or so of the race, the gap between yourselves and DRS came down to about 10 seconds. At some point, it was down to almost 5. Is that a good motivation thing for you, knowing the fact that, you know, generally endurance racers, they race at about 95%, knowing they can push a bit harder if they need to? Was it good to have that competition at the end? And just how hard were your guys pushing? I believe at the end of the race, you had yourself the driver of Thomas Budowski in that car. How hard was he pushing towards the end to hold off that challenge from DRS?
Well, I think that Thomas just had a bad luck of having a lot of traffic when he started his stint, and he lost a lot of time there because after the race he was also a bit surprised, like, oh, where did the 20 seconds lead towards the 4th place car go? And I just had to, let's say, I'm talking for myself too. I need 4 laps to get into my rhythm, you know, to have the confidence. And then he had much more traffic than I did, and he lost a lot of time. But in the end, we said, okay, you just have to try to maintain the gap, the 5-6 seconds, and that's enough. But it made it more interesting. But that was not what the goal was.
Next time out, we go to Monza, Fast and Furious. Looking forward to it? Scared? Apprehensive?
Oh no, not scared. Monza is a very nice track. Few chicanes. It's high speed, but more passing opportunities. Here at Interlagos it was more difficult to pass and stuff. But Monza will be a very interesting race, and I think the Nürburgring, that will be the heartbreaker. I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm not trained or practiced enough for that one, but today the race went very well. Sven did what he had to do. He put the car where he wanted to do. I tried to maintain it, and it worked very well. And Thomas just finished off, so we are looking very forward to the next race, because it's looking good in the standings for us. I think we passed on to 3rd position. I'm not sure, but I think.
Well, good luck when we go to Monza. Of course, that'll be here on March the 19th. Handing it back to Paul to do whatever Paul wants to do.
Well, what I was going to do is I was going to say that, well, just get your final thoughts on the race. First of all, from Alvin, what do we take away from this race going into the final 2 rounds of the championship?
Well, this looks like, in terms of championships, I know that not everything is decided yet, but it looks like in terms of GTC, that championship looks like pretty much Baggett Racing has it on their back. It's just they just need to finish the race strong, and they should be able to wrap up the championship. But the other two classes, GT3, NAB Racing got 17 more points to the championship. So now they have a decent championship lead going into Monza. But the prototype championship, that one is now wide open with the of course, Sim Racing now coming in first place. Now with the difference is only 2 points. So now let's see how they how they manage these last 2 races and see who is going to win the championship.
And Will, it was your first broadcast of the GES here for yourself this season. What did you make of that?
Good, very good. Prototype drivers, I think, were for the most part respectful. I think that actually the guys in the Neo Endurance series could probably take a leaf or two out of their books. Then when we got to the GT3 division today, again, was the highlight, in my opinion, because the racing was fantastic. I feel bad for some of the guys in the GTC division. Some good racing at points in that one, especially when we had ourselves the battle for the race lead. Unfortunately, they just didn't get the airtime because of the fact there wasn't much going on for this event. But overall, very good. I'm looking forward to see what happens when we head ourselves to Monza in 1 month's time.
Absolutely, and you've got Neo tomorrow, so you're looking forward to 6 hours around here.
Wait. Segway time. There we are. We've got the music to go with it. Yeah, indeed. We've got the Neo Endurance Series. It is tomorrow. It is 6 hours of Interlagos. And I will tell you now, strategy, especially in prototypes, will be everything. Commander Sim Sports, Radicals Online, you got yourself Friction Racing, Apex Racing, and more, all taking part in the Neo Endurance Series from Interlagos tomorrow. It will be here on Racespot TV, streaming live also on iRacing Live. There we are, end of segue.
Absolutely, and don't forget also, tomorrow you've got the 2K World Cup skippies, and Monday night you've got the Monday night skippies as well, so a real smorgasbord of motorsport once again from ourselves.
You know what's happening on Tuesday as well, don't you?
Oh, you go and take this, Will. This is your
We've
bit.
got Tuesday, we kick off the 7th season of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing. Racespot TV is the new home of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, the home of all 3 World Championship Series. Join us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Evan Pasoko, Rachel Whiteford, Cam Walsh, and more as they head themselves to the World Centre of Racing, the high banks of Daytona, for round number 1 of the championship, including an interview which we have officially signed now with the marketing guy from Peak. So we're going to have a quick chat with him. We're going to talk about actually, why Peak have got themselves involved in sim racing. Just trying to get the official job title up, which is always an interesting thing when you're trying to multitask. But yeah, we're going to have an interview with the chief marketing officer from Peak Antifreeze and Oil as well.
I'm sure that'll actually be really interesting to hear, sort of, to get their thoughts on sim racing and why they got involved in it, and how they think this works with their product, with their brand. So that'll be interesting to hear from, actually. So I'll be certainly catching that broadcast. Certainly not live because that's a bit late for me, but
hashtag
with
DVR.
work and all that. But yeah, DVR, YouTube, whatever, you can catch up with it later. It's always a good watch. So yeah, that's the end of the broadcast here. Just want to thank quickly Anwen Designs for the help they do with the graphics, and for Istvan Below with the cameras as well. And for you, Alvin, thank you very much for joining us once again. And Will, thank you for stepping into Hugo's sizable shoes, for doing the cameras and giving us special comments, and not forgetting Cam Walsh for joining us as well today.
That's all right.
So congratulations to the everyone who took part in today's race. Very good racing from Interlagos. Don't forget to watch the Neo Endurance Series tomorrow on iRacing Live and Racespot TV. I've been Paul Smith with Alvin Nieves and Will Vincent. It's a very goodbye.